directed at officials, athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated. I'm looking at you, Tetsuo. Now, Hooper, please refrain from throwing objects onto the playing field, entering the playing field, blowing whistles, and interfering with the flow of the game. MLS and FC Dallas do not prohibit flags and streamers to be used as an expression of fan enthusiasm. However, streamers are not to be used to impact on-field competition or thrown towards a player, referee, or stadium staff member. Tex, we are moments away from tonight's kickoff. Make it effort. Get up on your feet and make some noise for the boys. Let's go, Dallas! August Scarf of the Month. This scarf is the perfect way to support your FCD during the last 3 months of the MLS regular season. Check it out today on the team store located in the northeast corner of the stadium or online at shopfcdallas.com. Chicken fingers? Free Raising Cane's chicken fingers. If FC Dallas scores 1 goal, you win. Just take your game ticket to any local DFW Raising Cane's restaurant through close of business tomorrow. Buy any Cane's chicken finger combo and get a second absolutely free. It's the Cane's Challenge from Raising Cane's chicken fingers. Secure your 2015 FC Dallas season tickets to every home game live at Toyota Stadium. With options for all-you-can-eat seats, access to the Windstar River Club, and exclusive season ticket holder events, there are plans available for everyone. 2015 season tickets start at just $252, so go to raiseyourred.com to secure your 2015 season tickets today. The fourth official for tonight's match is Edwin Ursache. The junior assistant referee is Jonathan Johnson. The senior assistant referee is Adam Garner. The referee this evening is Mark Geiger.
Yeah.
Zach McMath. Number 25, Shaden Williams. Number 15, Ethan White. Number 28, Ray Gallus. Number 13, Michael Mahoon. Number 14, Amobi Akugo. Number 5, Vincent Noguera. Number 11, Sebastian Latou. Number 9, Andrew Wager. And number 6, Connor Casey. The coach of Philadelphia is Jim Curtis.
Medicina Deportiva presenta a los sustitutos universitarios para el juego de esta noche.
Texas Health Bend Sports Medicine presents the FC Dallas substitutes for tonight's game. Richard Sanchez, Stephen Keel, Javon Watson, Jair Benitez, Kellen Acosta, Ryan Hollingshead, and Danny Garcia.
Mark Followell will be calling the action tonight as FC Dallas plays the Philadelphia Union. The other semifinal will be tomorrow night when the Seattle Sounders play host to Chicago Fire. We're a few minutes away from kickoff, so before we get started, let's chit-chat a little bit about tonight's match. We'll step aside for the anthem, and then we'll have tonight's telecast on FCDallas.com. First of all, Daniel, I think let's just jump right into the significance that both teams are approaching this match with tonight, because this is a chance for a trophy for both clubs who have, in Philadelphia's case, never experienced that, and in FC Dallas's case, it's been a long time. They won the Open Cup in 1997 and then fell short, losing the final in 2005 and 2007. But for both of these teams, especially since the winner will host the final, this is a very, very big night for them from a competition standpoint.
Yeah, and you saw both teams talking about it before the game, how important this was for them. I think the Philadelphia Union players said this may be the most important game in team history for them so far. So, and you talk about an FC Dallas team where we talk MLS Cup 2010, of course, such a huge game for the team, but other than that, they haven't been to a final since the Open Cup final in 2007. So, like you said, the chance to host the game at home adds such spice and excitement to this game, and I just can't wait for this one.
Both teams are in great form right now. Since June 1st, the combined record of the two teams in all competitions, 14 wins, 7 ties, 1 loss. That loss was when Philadelphia dropped a 2-1 decision to Dallas at Toyota Stadium on July 4th. You couldn't ask for two teams who are playing much better than these two are coming into tonight.
No, and it's a great matchup, a sneaky good matchup, I think. A lot of teams, people around MLS aren't necessarily talking about FC Dallas and Philadelphia as two of the top-tier teams in the league, but like you said, the only loss for both teams since May 31st was Philadelphia losing to FC Dallas. So it's going to be fascinating to see how that game enters into how this game goes today, but two very hot teams, a perfect setup.
FC Dallas in the Open Cup defeated San Antonio from the NASL so far. They did face one MLS team, that was Houston. That was their second match of the Open Cup, and they needed the 30 minutes of extra time to get a Candeli winner in the 98th minute and defeat Houston 3-2. Meanwhile, Philadelphia flirted with trouble in their opening match against their USL Pro affiliate, the Harrisburg City Islanders. They Adu to score in the 89th minute to force extra time and ultimately got 2 goals from Andrew Winger in extra time to win. They beat the New York Cosmos from the NASL in the quarterfinals, a 2-0 victory over New England for Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's been a rocky road for the Union getting to the semifinal. They've had 3 games at home, 2 of them against lower league opposition, like you said. Both of those games went to extra time, and then they didn't have too much trouble beating a New England team that's really been down recently. They're happy to be here. That's the name of the game in tournaments. You just survive and advance, and for FC Dallas, it's been really good results. I think this may have been the tournament that turned around their season. We look at, in the end of May, the team was completely struggling, and they've really turned it around recently.
Well, we've had the walkouts. It's almost time for the national anthem here at Toyota Stadium, so we'll step aside and we'll have the starting lineups and the kickoff coming up in a moment on FCDallas.com. Mark Followill, Daniel Robertson with the call tonight of the FC Dallas Philadelphia Union U.S. Open Cup semifinal. Clearly for FC Dallas, there is a lot of importance on winning this trophy. After all, it's the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, and of course the Hunt family, owners of FC Dallas, the late Lamar Hunt, such a part of the legacy of the club, and now with Dan Hunt as the president of FC Dallas. This is a big night for FC Dallas, and as we said off the top, a big night for the Philadelphia Union as well. In their 5th season in MLS, they did reach the semifinals in 2012 and lost to ultimate champion Sporting Kansas City 2-0 in the semifinals. Tonight, FC Dallas is playing in the semifinals of the U.S. Open Cup for the 8th time since they were a charter member of Major League Soccer in 1996. Let's look at tonight's starting lineups. First for FC Dallas, the starting 11 will feature Raul Fernandez in goal tonight. Fernandez this year has 4 wins, 4 losses, 3 draws, and a 1.34 goals against average. The back line will feature Michel and Zach Lloyd as the outside backs on the left and right, respectively. Their center backs will be Walker Zimmerman and Matt Hedges, who will wear the captain's armband. In the midfield tonight, sitting in front of the back 4 in defensive midfielder roles, Victor Ulloa and Adam Moffat. Fabian Castillo and Tesho Akindele will be out wide in the midfield tonight, with Mauro Diaz in that number 10 shirt role in the center midfield. And up top in the striker position for FC Dallas will be Blas Perez of Panama. Blas with 6 goals so far this year and 5 goals in the last 2 seasons in the U.S. Open Cup, including a hat trick, 3 goals against the Carolina Railhawks in the quarterfinal win, 5-2.
Right, 2 changes from Saturday's lineup. You've got, like you said, Michel moving to left back. He's taking the place of Javon Watson. Zach Lloyd moves back to his customary right back position. Michel takes over at left back. Adam Moffat takes Michel's place in midfield. And, of course, Blas Perez back at forward for FC Dallas. One of the big stories from that game on Saturday was FCD getting out to a huge lead against Colorado. They were able to rest a lot of their players. Blas Perez not starting in that game. Mauro Diaz playing less than an hour. Fabian Castillo playing less than an hour. Zach
McMath is the keeper tonight as we look at Philadelphia's starting 11. McMath, 23 years old, from St. Petersburg, Florida. 6-8-9 this year, 1.61 goals against average, 3 shutouts this season for Zach McMath. The outside backs will be Shannon Williams and Ray Gaddis. Maurice Adu and Ethan White will be their center backs tonight. Adu will wear the captain's armband. Of course, he of 46 caps with the U.S. men's national team. Their midfield tonight will feature Amobi Akugo, Vincent Noguera, and Michael Lahoud. And then their 3 forwards tonight will be Sebastian Letou, the leading goal scorer in the modern era of the Open Cup with 14 goals, most of those in his time with Seattle Sounders FC. Also up front tonight, Andrew Wenger, the former #1 overall draft pick by the Montreal Impact back in 2012, who was traded to Philadelphia earlier this season for Jack McInerney. And a name that will make some FC Dallas longtime supporters cringe a little bit, Connor Casey, who, of course, was a goal scorer for Colorado in their 2010 MLS Cup final victory over FC Dallas. Casey starts up front tonight for the season. The 33-year-old from Dover, New Hampshire, has 6 goals for Philadelphia. He also has a goal in the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal win against New England. Mark Geiger is the referee. We have kicked off the semifinal of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah, and looking at the Philadelphia lineup, the big question was whether Sebastian Latou would be able to play after suffering an ankle injury right at the end of their win over Montreal on Saturday. Obviously, he's back in the lineup. Maurice Edu moves back to center back, replacing Carlos Valdez, and Amobi Akugo moves back into the lineup into defensive midfield. Amobi
Akugo has had a lot of success against FC Dallas, scoring a goal last season at PPL Park in a 2-2 draw, and then not scoring another goal in MLS play until the goal here at Toyota Stadium on July the 4th. That was a 2-1 victory for FC Dallas. Again, that's the only loss that either club has suffered in any competition since June the 1st. That particular night, Tesho Akindele had a wonderful goal, a one-time finish plucked out of the air on a chip from Blas Perez. The other goal for FC Dallas was courtesy of a Shannon Williams' own goal. Sandwiched in between was the Amobi Akugo goal late in the first half. An early foul has led to a free kick driven in and headed clear by FC Dallas. And now Philadelphia whistled for their first foul of tonight's match. Down goes Mauro Diaz off the challenge from the aforementioned Amobi Akugo.
You look back at that July 4th game between FC Dallas and Philadelphia. We were talking before the broadcast. There wasn't a lot in that game. Very, very close game from both sides. Only the own goal separating the teams.
And there was a late sending off, a challenge by Maurice Edu against Blas Perez that led to a straight red in the waning minutes of the match, just shortly before the full 90.
Yeah, and you know, our good friend Steve Davis made a very good point before the game talking about Connor Casey, a forward who definitely likes to play physically. We look at the man in the middle tonight, Mark Geiger, like you said, with his World Cup experience. How will he handle Casey's, physical play?
A throw coming here for FC Dallas after there was a nice attempt at a link-up on a back heel between Fabian Castillo and Blas Perez. Castillo was certainly a player to watch tonight. Now remember that he had that 4-game suspension from league matches due to a confrontation with the 4th official in Portland back in June, but in his last 8 games across all competitions, MLS or the Open Cup, he's had a goal in each of those 8 games. He's on quite a streak right now. He had a second-half goal against Colorado when FC Dallas had a 3-1 victory here on Saturday night.
Yeah, goal and 2 assists in that win over Carolina in the quarterfinals. I don't know if they give out the MVP for U.S. Open Cup, but Fabian Castillo right now right at the top of that list. He's scored in every game for FC Dallas in this tournament.
Gaston Fernandez and Kenny Cooper top the list of scores overall in the U.S. Open Cup in 2014 with 4 goals apiece. Castillo and Perez each have 3 for FC Dallas, and here's a header nearly turned on frame off the Michel free kick. Matt Hedges, who scored the opener in the 9th minute for FC Dallas against Colorado on Saturday, unable to put that on the target. And Zach McMath, the 23-year-old in his 4th year with Philadelphia, will have the goal kick, and he has really handled a difficult situation with complete professionalism, as McMath is sort of in placeholder mode right now with the acquisition of Algerian international, their keeper during the World Cup, Rais Mboli, as soon as he gets all of his paperwork sorted out and once his training has him up to speed. Jim Curtin, the interim manager for Philadelphia, says he is going to take over and be the #1 for the Union.
Yeah, real embarrassment of riches there for the Union in goal. I mean, talk about the #1 overall pick, Andre Blake, he's going to be their #3 keeper.
Blake started 2 matches in the Open Cup. McMath kept a clean sheet in their quarterfinal victory against New England. Along the byline, Edu wrestling and holding off Blas Perez and lashed out of trouble. A throw conceded by Philadelphia, but they are able to clear a ball out of the 18-yard box. Both of these teams proficient at getting the ball in net this year. FC Dallas is tied for third. Philadelphia is tied for fifth when you look at goals per match this season. They're both hovering around 1.6. A long run down the right here for Philadelphia. And the first quarter of the match is coming here. Latou will serve in the corner. Now, Latou has 10 goals this year in league games and also 3 in the Open Cup. 9 goals in his last 9 games across all competitions. And as we noted earlier, with 14 goals overall in the Open Cup in his career, he's the leading scorer in the modern era, dating back to 1995.
And when you talk about a Union team that hasn't lost except to FC Dallas since May, it's really Latou and Connor Casey leading the way for them. Such important players. And when you look at the Union, they're a team that scores goals. There's no question about that. They haven't been shut out since April.
11 of those goals in the Open Cup for Sebastian Latou were in his time with Seattle Sounders,
when they would play 5 or 6 games in every edition.
And in 07 and 08, they were still a USL side. Oh, nice move by Fabian Castillo. He puts it back post, but no one there. Was able to maneuver away from Ray Gaddis. Now Latou blasts the ball away from Michel. A touch for Connor Casey, but held in the attacking half. Victor Ulloa, a back pass to Walker Zimmerman. The winner will host the final. The other semi is Seattle and Chicago tomorrow. Blas Perez played onside. McMath out off his line. Perez goes down in the box. There is shouts for a penalty from the crowd and players on the bench for FC Dallas. That will not happen as Blas Perez tried to round Zach McMath, who came out off his line. We'll get a look at our high-definition replay here.
Yeah, definitely going down a little bit easy there, Blas. And we saw Tesho and Blas linking up in the FC Dallas-Philadelphia game on July 4th. Blas serving as provider to Tesho. We saw Tesho passing it back there to Blas. But definitely no penalty on that, and it's wouldn't have shocked me to see a yellow card on that one either. Probably lucky he didn't see one.
FC Dallas has been very successful when it comes to penalties this year, particularly Michel, who is 5 for 5 and has set the FC Dallas club record for most penalty kick goals in a season. It was 4. He set the new record with 5 when he had an 11th minute penalty that he converted against Colorado on Saturday night. Noguera and Andrew Winger were trying to link up along the touchline on the left side. Now Fabian Castillo over the halfway line. Down he goes from Okugo, and the last touch was by Castillo. Quick throw in. Michael Ahoud back passes to Adu.
Yeah, and FC Dallas really struggled to get Fabian Castillo introduced to that game on Saturday. He really didn't have too many touches the entire match. Of course, he finished the most important one, but Oscar Pareja will definitely be happy to see Castillo being more involved in the attack early in this match.
And the lack of possession for FC Dallas, as a foul was whistled here against Adam Moffat of FC Dallas. Their lack of possession Saturday night is a big reason why they could not get Fabian Castillo introduced more to the match, as you talked about. FC Dallas's possession number was between 37 and 38% against Colorado.
No, you're right. And
here's Winger putting a dangerous ball in, curling but right to Raul Fernandez, as Latou couldn't get on the end of that, Daniel.
And it's an interesting question. We've seen different writers covering the team talk about it this week. The possession with FC Dallas, is it something they need? So many teams want to have possession, want to keep the ball, and you know Oscar Pareja certainly wants to. But I remember in the win over Carolina, he said in the second half, they would rather have had Carolina possess the ball and come at them in the second half with counterattacks, and it worked well. They scored twice in the second half in that game, and he said after the game that that was by design.
Philadelphia knows something about winning a match without a lot of possession. Their number was around 31% against Montreal on Saturday night at PPL Park. Latou had a brace for Philadelphia in a 2-1 victory. Remember that the next home game for FC Dallas will be Friday night, August 22nd. They'll play Real Salt Lake, an important Western Conference matchup as it relates to the table. That'll be 8 p.m. Friday night, the 22nd here at Toyota Stadium. You can come early on that Friday night and have food and drinks in the Budweiser Beer Garden. Visit fcdallas.com for tickets today.
You talk about the possession, and I think it really depends on the lineup that FC Dallas plays. When they play the 4-2-3-1, I think they prefer to not hold the possession because that's such a counter-attacking lineup where they just burst at you from the wings with Fabian Castillo and Andres Escobar, guy like Tesho Akindele. Whereas when they have the 4-4-2, I think that's a lineup where they prefer to keep the possession a little more, try to work it slower up to the forwards.
So Adu usher that ball over the byline a moment ago. McMath.
You know, the 4-2-3-1, the Union are a team that love to play that formation. Looks like they're playing that again tonight with Lahoud and Akugo, and Nogueira sitting above them in the midfield.
Gaddis a quick throw. Nogueira missed a chance at a touch. Akugo. Williams on the right. Trying to thread it through the midfield. The intervention there for Adam Moffat. Castillo almost dribbled right into Latu and lost possession. Then a vital header. Adu in front of Tesho Akindele, who was trying to spring free coming down the right side. Powerful forward by Walker Zimmerman, but no one on the end of this for FC Dallas. Again, just touching on Open Cup history for FC Dallas. 7 times before they've been in the semifinals, so tonight their 8th time. They have won 3 semifinal matches and lost 4. Their last time in the semis was 2011. Their last win in the semifinals was 2007, and then they lost, disappointingly, a home final to New England. They lost a road final in 2005 to the Galaxy. In 1997, FC Dallas won the Open Cup for the only time. Goalless after 120 minutes against DC United. A great night for Mark Dodd, the old Dallas burn keeper in net. And Jorge Zarco Rodriguez, the winning penalty, as FC Dallas won 5-3 on penalties.
Yeah, and we talked about it in the Open, just how much it adds to this game that both of these teams know a chance to host the final is on the line. There's no question that that makes the game just that much more exciting.
Nogueira drives the ball. Rising for the header to keep Latu from getting anywhere near it was Matt Hedges. Hedges wearing the captain's armband tonight, taking over as the captain since the trade of Andrew Jacobson to NYCFC. Now Philadelphia, they dispossess. Casey out wide from Nogueira, and he puts a cross in. That's right to Raul Fernandez, who ends up pushing it over the byline. Corner coming, second one of the match for the Union.
Mauro Diaz dispossessed in midfield there for the second time in just a couple minutes. A good break by the Union. Casey sends a ball that Raul Fernandez can't keep a hold of out for a corner.
Latu will take the corner. 13th minute of the match. Early against Colorado at about this time of the match on Saturday, a corner had to be cleared off the line. Michel came through and delivered. Now that was headed over by Andrew Winger. Winger 2 goals and 4 assists since his early season trade from Montreal to Philadelphia. He did score 1 goal while with the Impact, and that was against FC Dallas in the season opener for the two teams here at Toyota Stadium.
Yeah, and the question with Andrew Wenger always was, what's his position? There's no question he's a great athlete, a great player coming out of college, but you couldn't quite lock down the position for him. Today he's playing out on the left wing in that 4-2-3-1.
Chested down by Akindele. Bumped forward by Gaddis. Possession held in the attacking half for FC Dallas. Zach Lloyd, who's really been in fine form as of late.
Yeah, you could make a case that Zach Lloyd is FCD's MVP through the last month or so. He's been just incredible, and the best
and versatile.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The best thing about him is versatility. He played at left back on Saturday. He's played at center back. He's playing at right back tonight. Just a real trooper for Oscar Pareja, and a guy who signed a new contract just before the season. Walker
Zimmerman's long ball was controlled by Williams for Philadelphia. Michel tracks back and dispossesses Connor Casey.
You know, what's really interesting about Zach Lloyd, Oscar Pareja said after a game this year that Lloyd was a guy when he was in Colorado that he tried to trade for a couple times.
Akindele holding it up. Picks out Michel on the left. Always dangerous at serving balls in. Side-footed out of trouble by Ethan White. Ethan White has not been playing much this year for Philadelphia until as of late. He started their last 5 games, and I heard Jim Curtin on an Extra Time Radio podcast interview earlier this week note that one of the things they like about Ethan White, specifically as it relates to tonight, is that White played for DC United, although sparingly over the last 3 years. He was in the Open Cup final last year when DC United, despite having a very rough season in the league, went to Real Salt Lake and surprised them winning the final to win the Open Cup last year.
Right, and he's still young, you know, the homegrown player formerly of DC United.
23 years old.
Yep, he struggled a little bit at times this year, but still very young, still learning the game, and he's obviously impressed Jim Curtin.
Jim Curtin took over in early June for John Hackworth. And still holding the title of interim head coach. Casey and Latou failed to connect on the right side.
You got to say props to Philadelphia for these jerseys, man.
I like them.
They are sharp. You got to love the 3rd jersey.
Primarily, we see them in blue and gold.
Yep.
It's what they wore in the July 4th game here earlier this year, as a matter of fact.
And, you know, something to watch right now is it looks like FCD is actually playing in a 4-4-2 with Mauro Diaz kind of on the left and Fabian Castillo on the right, rather than the 4-2-3-1.
Perez flicks a ball to Tesho. Nice move by Tesho. Now Perez will put a shot on goal, but it skips right to Zach McMath. Not a lot of power on it. And Zach McMath goes to ground to be on the safe side with it. McMath called into action for a save for the first time tonight.
We see Tesho and Blas combining again. There's something about playing Philadelphia that those guys like.
Blas assisted on an Akindele goal just over 25 minutes into the match when Philadelphia and FC Dallas played here on the 4th. Lloyd races to it. Akugo a touch. Now Vincent Nogueira picks out Williams on the right. Williams settles, looks at his options. Back post cross. Side-footed out by Lloyd. Corner. 3rd for Philly.
Really good switch by Nogueira to find Williams out there on the right, going 2-on-1 against the FC Dallas defense. Zach Lloyd probably didn't realize how much time he had there, did the safe thing and kick it out.
There's Latou, 10 goals this season. The leading scorer in Philadelphia Union history, 4 seasons. Not consecutively, but 4 of the 5 seasons for the Union. He scored 38 goals in league play. The fans down on that end of the field thought the last touch was Connor Casey. But as you can see, a 4th corner of the opening 18 minutes is being set up here for the Union. And this is a better attempt from Latou, headed away from danger by FC Dallas, and Zach Lloyd has hit the deck, and immediately Mark Geiger has waved on FC Dallas athletic trainer Skylar Richards.
Didn't quite see what happened there. It didn't look like it was a head-to-head clash, maybe a high arm. We'll have to see that one again.
But Mark Geiger did not waste a moment in summoning Skylar Richards, the athletic trainer, onto the field. As Daniel said, Lloyd's really been a rock lately for FC Dallas. 14 straight starts in the league. This play is just right outside the box. It's Akugo and Lloyd. Oh, it is a clash of heads.
Yep.
And clearly, Lloyd is the worse for wear out of that.
Yeah, no intent on that play by either side, but hopefully Zach is okay. That would be a big loss for FC Dallas. You look at the guys they have on the bench tonight: Stephen Keel, Javon Watson, Jair Benitez, Kellen Acosta, Ryan Hollingshead, and Danny Garcia. So if he was to have to come out, there are a couple right-back options there. We haven't seen Kellen Acosta play in about 3 months. Of course, Javon Watson has been at right back recently, but I think Zach's a gamer. I think he'll stay in this one.
Remember that for the latest Lamar Hunt U.S. Open results and information, you can visit ussoccer.com. A lot of great articles in the lead-up to this match. As we noted off the top, both clubs view this with, as you would expect, an incredibly high degree of importance since the winner will host the final. Yeah. Philadelphia's in the playoff race, though, in the Eastern Conference. Their run of form in the last 2 months since Jim Curtin has taken over has thrust them to 5th place in the East. They're at 27 points and tied with Columbus. Meanwhile, FC Dallas, they've been able to spring all the way up to 3rd in the West. Now, granted, the team right behind them, Los Angeles, has 3 games in hand. LA just a couple of points behind FC Dallas, but certainly when you look at the playoff race for the top 5 spots in the West, FC Dallas is in and is going to remain in the thick of it.
Yeah, the last few months have just been huge for the team. You know, they struggled so much when Mauro Diaz went out with all those injuries. The win on Saturday, though, was absolutely priceless, beating a Colorado team that was 3 points below them in the standings. That 6-point gap, absolutely huge. And you look, 11 games left in the season. You're starting to see the finish line, starting to kind of count your points a little bit and try and figure out where you've got them.
Oh, that was nice by Andrew Wenger. Nutmeg Moffitt, shot blocked by Walker Zimmerman. Ulloa nudges it forward. Diaz nearly links up with Tesho. A step up by Akugo. Now you got Wenger. Adam Moffitt won the ball for FC Dallas. Blas Perez able to maneuver away from some pressure in the back third.
Yeah, looking on the sidelines, seeing Zach Lloyd, it looks like he has a cut, and they're dealing with that. I don't think it's a concussion situation. Obviously, we want to be so dangerous and so careful about those, but it looks like they're treating a cut down there right now on Zach Lloyd, and it doesn't look like Oscar Pareja is getting anyone ready. There you can see on the broadcast.
Lloyd in his 5th year with FC Dallas. Had a goal last year in the U.S. Open Cup. 4th round victory, round of 16 for FC Dallas over Houston in a Texas derby.
Really nice little chip.
Yes. Blas Perez. Lloyd's still not out there, so FC Dallas down a man. Ulloa had pressure, so does Walker Zimmerman. And Zimmerman drives it to the other end with Vincent Nogueira applying the pressure that forced Zimmerman into the hopeful ball to the other end that FC Dallas was not able to connect with. Almost midway through the first half here. Thanks for joining us. The webcast tonight on FCDallas.com. Mark Followell, Daniel Robertson.
A cagey game like you'd expect in a Open Cup semifinal of this magnitude.
Casey, powerful header, flicked forward, but over the touchline. And still you see right where the ball went over the line, you see the medical attention to Zach Lloyd. As Daniel noted, certainly appears that bandaging a cut is what's happening right now. Vincent Nogueira free in the midfield, rolling it into the box, a touch by Letou! Oh, and a vital and brave tackle, getting a piece of the ball and clearing it, Matt Hedges.
Yeah, he was man of the match on Saturday night with the goal, clearing one off the line. Another huge defensive play there from the center back.
Fernandez came out off his line, but Hedges with a tackle that was much like Marvell Wynn's first tackle against Tesho the other night before his second led to the penalty. Now pressing forward Edu. And Mauro Diaz gets stuck in. And the 24th minute foul against Diaz will give Philadelphia a pretty dangerous free kick opportunity here.
Zach Lloyd coming back to the center line, looking like he's about to come back into the game.
To a round of applause from all the FC Dallas fans who are seated on the near side of the field here tonight at Toyota Stadium. Lloyd summoned back in. So FC Dallas will be at full strength to defend this set piece, which is lofted to the back post by Letou and headed over by Philadelphia. Ethan White went forward, but White could not direct that free kick on the back post back in front. Zimmerman leaps up to beat Connor Casey to the possession. And a ball won by FC Dallas.
Well done by Walker Zimmerman there. I thought he had a good game on Saturday, and also for FC Dallas, paired with Matt Hedges returning to the starting lineup. Another great intervention there. Young center back.
Favoring Philadelphia right now to the tune of 53 to 47%. Philadelphia 3 shots to FC Dallas's 2. One has been on target, calling a goalkeeper into action. That was Zach McMath, who had a routine save against Blas Perez. Now some room in the middle for Michael Lahoud to operate. Lahoud out wide to Shannon Williams. Pass Latu, Casey a touch, Ulloa, the young home player for FC Dallas, who has really stepped into that defensive midfielder role and shined this year for FC Dallas. Got a big touch, and FC Dallas on the counterattack. Moffitt arriving, nudges to Castillo. Castillo cutting in. Throw for FC Dallas.
Yeah, that's what FC Dallas wants. They want to counterattack like that. So good on the counter. Fizzled out there, but they've got an attacking throw-in.
And as we see in many of these cases, Zach Lloyd will handle it.
Yeah, it's a real Dallas, these long throws.
Flicked by Blas Perez, and Fabian Castillo is on the end of it, darting to the byline. And the last touch was by Castillo.
That's something you'll see a lot from FC Dallas, aiming for Blas Perez on those long throws, trying to get the flick on, which you did that time. A good position for Castillo. Hint of a handball there. The Union wanted it. No call. But as we've seen in the past, just one too many dribbles on that one.
If you missed this note, as we said at the top of the webcast tonight, FC Dallas's path to get here, defeating the San Antonio Scorpions of the NASL. And our old friend who works down there, Matt Barber now,
yes,
former writer for FCDallas.com. Long ball here. McMath has to come out to the edge of the box to clear. Drives it out before Castillo could get it there.
It's a Scorpions team in first place in the NASL right now. A really good team.
FC Dallas won that 2-0. 3-2 after extra time against Houston Dynamo in the next round. And the quarterfinals 5-2 over the Carolina Railhawks of the NASL. On the road, Lloyd, the throw-in. Once again, Blas Perez, the flick header right to the spot. Poked out by FC Dallas. Now they try to reorganize. Second ball in. Here's Michel. Settles for Castillo. Oh, up Blas Perez right in front. Connor Casey chugging away from goal, got a touch. Played it back to winger, crossfield ball. Was looking for Latu.
Really good chance there for FC Dallas, starting to work their way into the match with these attacking throws a little bit.
Michel holds it up. Akadelli lays it off back to Ulloa. Some space for Lloyd. They close down Castillo. Ray Gaddis. Gaddis in his third year with Philadelphia after being taken to the Super Draft in 2012 out of West Virginia.
And if I'm the Union here, I might want to mark a certain number 7 for FC Dallas. Oh, see.
They go short on the throw, and it's dealt with well by Philly. Casey with his back to goal holds up. Akugo, a harmless ball over the top. There's Diaz. Diaz got his first start since coming back from his meniscus injury. Suffered that in late April. Started playing against Philadelphia on the 4th of July, but only in substitute performances until starting and playing 54 minutes against Colorado on Saturday.
Yeah, and anyone will tell you he's not close to 100% yet. He's probably 85%, and they're playing him kind of in a more wing role tonight than right in the midfield, and it doesn't look like it's suiting him terribly well. But yes, for FC Dallas, you need Mauro Diaz to be at his best. When he was at his best early in the season, FCD was arguably the best team in the league. And if they want to have MLS Cup hopes, I think they need Mauro Diaz to play at that MVP level that saw him named Player of the Month in March.
Had 2 goals and 3 assists in March. Andrew Winger gets closed down, but able to maintain possession. This is dangerous. Plays it out wide to Casey, and punched away by Fernandez. That looked like a cross, trying to set someone up, perhaps Latou, on a darting run to the front of goal, and Fernandez able to make the necessary play. Akindele is down in the center circle on the foul by Philadelphia. Here's the replay of Casey trying to set it up for Latou.
Really good work by Wenger to wriggle himself free there. Get Casey open on the left wing. That's not really his game, being a provider. He's more of a guy that you want finishing that cross rather than sending it in. Good work by Raul Fernandez, quick off his line to send that one away to safety.
In the middle, Diaz. Michel drives it in. Out it goes. Shannon Williams volleys it out. Nogueira has played Latou forward. FC Dallas racing back to defend. Latou, a lot of time on the ball. And then looking to thread it through the defense to Connor Casey unsuccessfully.
Just ran out of gas there.
And Matt Hedges are in possession for FC Dallas.
We're definitely seeing the game start to open up a little bit here as we enter the second half hour.
I agree. Both teams in the last few minutes clearly with their most significant scoring chances of the match. I don't think you look back at that one shot that FC Dallas directed on goal as much of a serious scoring chance, as we said at the time, an extremely routine save. McMath not tested in the least. Not happy about that call, FC Dallas.
And we talked about in the open just how well FC Dallas and Philadelphia are playing right now, and you're seeing it on the field. Really well played game. They look like 2 teams that haven't lost in quite a while.
The only loss between the 2 teams in the last 2 months across all competitions was FC Dallas beating Philly here on July 4th, 2-1. Nice touch by Nogueira. They've got Williams on the right, and Michel slides in. Nicely done. Michel's reputation is as a set-piece specialist, not necessarily as a defender, but nothing at all wrong with that.
Of course, on Saturday night against Colorado, he was playing in central midfield. He had a goal, 2 assists that don't show up on the score sheet, but he had crosses that eventually found the back of the net. A hand in all 3 goals. His best performance of the season, no question. For
the year, Michel is FC Dallas' leading goal scorer with 7. He has 2 assists as well. Last year, after making the club as a preseason trialist, Michel, now 33 years old, he had 3 goals and 8 assists last season with FC Dallas, and one of those 8 assists was against Philadelphia in a 2-2 draw at PPL Park on June 29.
And you talk about the penalty kick prowess that he has, and sometimes it can be a little bit of an afterthought, but if you have a guy that's as automatic as he is on penalty kicks, that is such an asset for the team. We've seen FC Dallas miss some key penalty kicks in the last couple of years. 5 for 5 for Michel this year. And you look at a game tonight that could go all the way. He's going to be someone you want on the field.
Diaz over the top. The run by Castillo. McMath read it all the way. At about 15 yards out off his line. Scoops it up and they play out of the back, but not successfully. Adu and Williams failed to link up. Throw on the far side for FC Dallas. 34th minute. The only save made tonight by McMath. Moffitt trying to step up into a shot. He got a Kugo. You could see that he was in some trouble afterwards, and Casey won a ball at midfield, and he springs Nogueira, who goes back to Connor Casey. Hedges tries to close it down, and Casey bends one way, way wide, and we'll hear some jeers from the crowd.
This crowd remembers Connor Casey, there is no question.
In his career against FC Dallas, at regular season league games, Connor Casey's played 12 games. He has 2 goals.
And now we're see Walker Zimmerman down here. This doesn't look good for him. He's a guy who's struggled with some groin issues off and on ever since he came back in, or ever since he was drafted into the league. He gave up that ball in midfield, really hustling to get back, and this could be it for him.
Well, you just see Victor Rouillot and Matt Hedges both make signals for substitution.
FC Dallas has Stephen Keel on the bench. I think we'll be seeing him here shortly.
Tonight was the first night that Zimmerman had appeared in an Open Cup match for FC Dallas. Stephen Keel has played in all 3 Open Cup matches this year for FC Dallas, and it looks like all the signs are pointing to Keel being the likely player to come on here.
It's got to be so disappointing for Walker Zimmerman.
Yep.
Just every time it feels like he works to get back on the field.
Injuries limited him last year, Daniel, to 7 games, 4 starts. He did have a goal against Philadelphia, by the way, last season. This year, 9 games in the league, 8 starts, about 700 minutes of action within the league, and finally getting a chance to play in the Open Cup tonight.
And this is interesting. We're seeing Javon Watson about to come into the game, so I'm assuming Zach Lloyd is going to move back centrally, and we'll see Watson out at right back.
Watson's had several starts this year, either in U.S. Open Cup play or in MLS games at right back. That's certainly an aspect to his game that until Oscar Pereira got here this year and started putting him in that position, was not really sure that that was something that he had in his skill set, the ability to drop back and play at right back. You think much more of Watson as a right midfielder. But he has played, as I said, started 5 or 6 games this year as a right back for FC Dallas.
Well, and that's a trademark of Oscar Pereira teams. He loves attacking outside backs. And like you said, Watson didn't play that role much in his career, but if you look at him, he really is a prototypical player. He's big, strong, he loves to get up and down the wing, he's got good fitness, he sends a good ball in. The only question on him is the defending, and we saw that on Saturday night against Colorado, giving up a late penalty kick. We saw it in Portland earlier this year. He dove into a tackle and gave up a pretty key penalty kick. So that's the big thing for him, is just a little bit of naivety in the position, but he can definitely play it.
He got sent off for a second yellow against Philadelphia last season.
Although that...
Offensively, he had a goal last year in the U.S. Open Cup against Portland from long range that was pretty nice. And this year in the Open Cup, he's had a couple of assists.
Yeah, and that red card against Philadelphia, if you remember last year, he was sent off for a second yellow for a dive that replays clearly showed there was contact, which I'm sure he'll still argue that one to this day.
Foul given here as Diaz goes down. If you're looking for a fun, easy, and safe way to get to FC Dallas games, we're proud to again continue the FCD Express, which is a round-trip bus service to FC Dallas home games where fans have the option of purchasing a ticket to that day's match and a round-trip bus ticket for $25 to 2 for $32. Route and ticket information can be found by visiting fcdallas.com/FCD Express. Free kick sprayed left. LaHood drives it to the touchline. FC Dallas will throw. Michael LaHood's played in a couple of Open Cup games this year. Only 6 games in MLS play for Michael LaHood. Not a guy who scored much in his career. Last time was against FC Dallas, as a matter of fact, in June of 2011, while with Chivas. Diaz unable to get a pass past Sebastian Letou. Moffitt plays it forward. Down the left, control, Castillo lays it off for Blas Perez, but not enough to get there, and Ethan White steps forward and plays the ball out of trouble for now. Watson, down the right. Hoping to cross, unable to get it on his right foot in position to do so, but it pinballs off Ray Gaddis. And Watson will end up ceding to Zach Lloyd here on the throw. Lofted in by Lloyd. Flicked in front, Moffitt.
Another nice spell of possession for FC Dallas on that cross from Castillo to Blas. It looked like it had enough power on it. It looked like he was going to have a great chance there. Didn't quite get there. Good defending by the Union. Still 0-0, 39th minute.
There was Ethan White, who had that clearance before Blas was in position to have what surely would have been A powerful shot on goal. Player who scored 6 goals this year and 26 and 2.5 seasons with FC Dallas. He's already up to the 6th leading goal scorer in club history.
Such an important part of what FC Dallas has been ever since he signed with the team.
'72 caps internationally with Panama.
I think we were all heartbroken, even though you root for the United States. We were all heartbroken when Graham Zusi scored to knock Panama out of the World Cup qualification.
Obviously put Mexico in position for an enjoyable run, although it ended in disappointing fashion with what transpired in the round of 16 against the Netherlands. And the late and very questionable penalty conceded there.
No era penal. Hashtag.
Always got to get your hashtags in, man. Daniel on all of his social media work here with FC Dallas. Connor Casey leaps for the header and actually flicked that on frame.
Casey just attacks every single one of those long balls. It doesn't even look like he cares if another Union player is around him. He's going after it.
And that's why he scored 66 goals in 8 seasons in MLS. Was a pro in Germany for 7 years. Before that, capped 19 times for the U.S.
I'm sure U.S. fans will never forget that game in I believe it was in Honduras, where he scored twice to send the USA through to the 2010 World Cup, but did not get called up to the squad. His shining moment for the national team.
Remember to keep up with all of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup updates on Twitter by following @USSoccer. You can also follow @US Open Cup. Those guys do fine work in terms of their coverage of the Open Cup as well.
Yeah, and you can
a lot of great tweets today about it.
Absolutely, great historical tweets. And you can really tell how the Union are looking to attack right now as FC Dallas comes forward.
And here is Castillo. He's got Williams in a bad way. Williams, nice recovery, and Castillo the final touch.
Yeah, and going back to that last thought, if you're FC Dallas right now, you've got to watch Connor Casey. Every ball is coming into him, and the runner's coming off. That very last play, it looked like Latu had gotten inside Michel. The ball didn't get through, but they're looking to combine every single time coming down the field, right through Connor Casey.
There was an injury with Lloyd earlier in the half for FC Dallas, so there will be, I would surmise, a couple of minutes of added time here. Still 3 minutes away from that, though. You get a look at Fabian Castillo. Has scored a goal in every Open Cup match this year for FC Dallas. There is Casey again attacking the header, winning the ball. Lloyd had it. Nogueira fouls.
As I recall, we didn't see Casey too active in that July 4th game. Philadelphia, clearly he's getting plenty of touches on the ball today.
He's scored 6 goals this year in the league and 1 in the Open Cup quarterfinal win against New England. His last league goal was against New York Red Bulls on the 16th of July. A ball over Akindelli. A race to keep it in play for FC Dallas. Watson nudges it back to Akindelli. 1v2, Akindelli in the corner. Can he win a corner for FC Dallas? He can. Their first one tonight. The first corner tonight for FC Dallas. It'll be here in the final couple of minutes of the first half. The set-piece specialist, Michel, races over to McMath's left. So this should be an in-swinging corner. Michel had an Olympico goal against Seattle in this situation last year on the road. He's had in-swingers that have led to own goals bouncing off defenders. Easy tap-ins for FC Dallas players. Let's see what he can do here. Drives it back post, headed in front, and the player that it last touched was Akindelli in front of goal for FC Dallas, and it just harmlessly ends up rolling out off him.
And that's why you have Michel in the lineup. He played the great long ball to Tesho Akindelli that earned the corner kick in the first place. He comes all the way across the field to take the corner. Sends perfect delivery into the far post. As we see here, Tesho just not quite able to be quick enough on the reflex. Is a good header, it looked like, by Blas Perez.
Put that down right in front in a dangerous place. Ball hits the ground as it sailed over Casey and Ulloa. Now Nogueira. Lost it to Williams. 1v1 against Castillo. Back to Williams on a 1-2. Michel slides in. He got the last touch.
Shannon Williams, another guy known for very long throw-ins.
Edwin Jurasevich is the fourth official tonight, so we're waiting to see what he will indicate for added time. The header by FC Dallas was put right in front, and now Blas Perez able to clear. 3 minutes is the added time.
There will be a minimum of 3 minutes of added time in the first half.
Lloyd leaps over Casey. Not many of those aerial duels won tonight when it's been Connor Casey against a player for FC Dallas, but Lloyd does nice work there, and this ball will skip down to McMath.
You look at Zach Lloyd, not such a tall player, but man, he is so athletic. And I remember the game in Vancouver a couple weeks ago. He skied to get some clearances from some headers. Such a good player in the air, despite not being the tallest guy out there. And anytime you can win a header against Connor Casey, you've done something well.
Ulloa looking for Castillo. Castillo, the long run down the left. Castillo, a couple of touches to control, then a deflection. FC Dallas maintains possession. Still another full 2 minutes of stoppage time on the way. Trying to settle it, Mauro Diaz. Counter-attack here. Speed down the left by Nogueira. Recovery run, though, by Javon Watson.
Yeah, and we talked about when he came in at right back, his speed, his athleticism, that is what he brings to the table, and you saw it there.
Still another minute and 40 seconds, approximately, of added time. Through the midfield, a ball looking for Akindele.
Definitely been FCD's preferred form of attack right now, those
no
long
question.
balls off the diagonal runs.
And this has been Philadelphia's preferred method, to launch a high ball for Connor Casey to win via the header, or in that case, he chested down. Ulloa under some pressure, but able to make the safe pass back to Lloyd. Nice little touch from Blas Perez, trying to set up Watson. Andrew Winger, a long ball. Michel heads back. Fernandez will be able to pick that up. 45 seconds is the approximate added time remaining. Maybe chance for one last attack here for FC Dallas. There's the long ball for Castillo. Castillo trying to control it, and just enough shielding defensive work done by Ethan White to allow McMath onto the ball, and McMath's punt to the other end is the final action of the first half. And so with that, we are through 45 minutes and goalless in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup semifinal at Toyota Stadium. FC Dallas and the Philadelphia Union. What'd you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's super surprising to see it scoreless at halftime. Both teams playing such an important game. They're not going to want to give anything up early. Two very good teams in very good form right now. So I don't think it's any surprise that they're scoreless at the half, and both teams definitely have some offensive weapons to bring off the bench to possibly change the game in the second half.
We'll stick around. We will have coverage, of course, of the second half. We will step aside for halftime, but the webcast will continue when the second half resumes on FCDallas.com. Mark Followill, Daniel Robertson, semifinal of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. at Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Nice night, not quite as sweltering as we're accustomed to seeing in the middle of August. A day that some around here have coined the worst day of the year, August 12th. It's in that bad spot of the dog days of summer.
I'm not complaining.
But it certainly was low 90s today, so not a bad day to deal with things weather-wise. And we will be back for the second half in a moment here on FCDallas.com. Thanks for joining us.
Hey FC Dallas fans, I'm Shonda and you're watching FCD TV. Ever wonder how your favorite players pull off those moves? Well, let's let them show off their signature move, presented by United Healthcare.
Hi, I'm Danny Garcia and this is my signature move. Kind of watched it on YouTube. So ever since I watched it, I just kept trying it and ended up doing it one day. What you want to do is just make sure the defender's close to you because it only works if there's a close defender in front of you. So what you want to do is just turn it around. You want to pop it in the air. When you do that, you want to hit it backwards with your heel. And that was my signature move.
FC Dallas! FC Dallas! That is our house! That is our house! That is our house! That is our house!
Want to know what's on our players' minds? Want to watch them juggle? How about both? It's word association.
iPhone.
5,
Slurpee.
7-Eleven,
Oscar.
Papi,
Tornado.
Ay, se lleva las casas.
Messi.
El mejor jugador del mundo.
Copa Mundial.
Lo más lindo que puede jugar un jugador de fútbol.
Pizza.
Muy rica.
Twitter.
followers,
Trophy.
first place,
Frisco.
FC Dallas.
Un rayo.
Te parten 10,000 pedazos.
Magia.
Maya. Es lo que toca el balón cuando hago un gol.
Shakira.
Es bonita.
Jair.
Es muy lindo.
It's like karaoke mixed with trivia, but with our players, you know it's always a good time. It's time to play Name That Tune.
Hi, I'm Natalie with FCD TV here at the Meet the Team event where Aston Villa FC is practicing behind me and our season ticket holders are hanging out with the players, getting autographs and having a great time. Let's take a look. How exciting is it to have the fans here tonight for the Meet the Team event?
You know, it's really a great thing. See them here in droves like this. I would tell you this is probably the largest crowd we've ever seen. And walking around and you see all the smiles on people's faces, especially the children here meeting, you know, their heroes.
Yeah, it's always a good thing to meet the fans, the people that support you game in, game out, so I'm enjoying it.
What's the best part about meeting the fans?
The kids, the enthusiasm of the kids know you and all that, so I appreciate it. I mean, it's fantastic. Everybody's been in a great mood. Everybody's telling us how excited they are to be here, and we're just excited to have them. It's something where they come and support us every home game, and so now is our chance to kind of interact with them a little bit. So it's been a lot of fun.
Now, can you explain your relationship with FC Dallas and coming to the games and just that relationship there?
Well, it's been fun for us. We come with a lot of friends. We're always in the beer garden, so it's always rowdy and a good time.
Well, my relationship with FC Dallas is more than just a fan relationship. I have personal friends on the team. My son is on the junior team, and I'm telling you, it's just a great organization to be involved with.
This is by far the best ticket in town.
I'll keep being here and season ticket holders for life.
If you're looking to become a season ticket holder and participate in events like this, or to renew for the 2015 season, visit raiseyourred.com. For FCD TV, I'm Natalie Gore.
It's like karaoke mixed with trivia, but with our players, you know it's always a good time. It's time to play Name That Tune.
I must warn you, I sense something strange in my mind.
I've heard it, but I don't know who it is. Mo?
This one's you, Michelle. Bobby Brown, something.
It's hard. Check it out. It's driving me out of my.
Not my genre.
That's why it's
Never heard this song in my entire life.
right. Can't get it out of my head.
I don't know.
Kiss her, love her. That girl is.
That Girl's Fine by Bobby Brown. Ooh, it's my mom music. My mom listens to.
Shaking them. Shout. It says shout.
Why do you have this on your iPod?
Nah. I know this. I've heard this before.
It's my grandparents' music. There you go. No, I have no idea. Not a clue.
About Twist or something? Twist and Shout? Baby. Twist and. Come on, come on, come on.
Oh. It's Twist and Shout. You know what movie this is in? This is in Dirty Dancing. Second favorite movie behind The Notebook, but
it's Twist and Shout by
the Beatles or something? I don't know. Yeah, it is Beatles? Right on.
All right, FC Dallas fans, we're just minutes away from the second half, so we need you to get up, get loud, and make some noise for your FC Dallas.
Welcome back to our web stream on FCDallas.com. Mark Followell and Daniel Robertson on the call tonight. We do appreciate you tuning in for the semifinal of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, the 101st edition of the tournament. The semifinal between FC Dallas and Philadelphia at Toyota Stadium in Frisco is goalless through 45 minutes. And tomorrow's other semifinal, of course, is Seattle Sounders FC hosting Chicago Fire. So let's look at some stats, and then we're going to tell you about some more substitutes that are being made by FC Dallas that are being necessitated by injuries. We'll cover that in a moment. FC Dallas outshot Philadelphia in the first half 5-4. The only shot on target for FC Dallas was one by Blas Perez that was easily saved by Zach McMath. 6 fouls committed by the Union to 4 for FC Dallas. Philadelphia had 4 corners in the first half to 1 for FC Dallas. FC Dallas already had to make 1 sub of the first half. Walker Zimmerman was injured and went out. Javon Watson came on, and now 2 changes are being made. You have Stephen Keel and Ryan Hollingshead making appearances for FC Dallas due to what we understand are injuries for Mauro Diaz and Adam Moffett. So Stephen Keel will drop into the back line at center back. Michel will move from left back into a defensive midfielder role. And Zach Lloyd is now back on the outside. He had slid back to the inside whenever Watson came on when Zimmerman went out of the game. So Lloyd has been an outside back, then a center back, and now is an outside back again tonight.
We talked about his versatility and what it brings to the team, and then Ryan Hollingshead moving into left midfield position for arguably his most important minutes so far with FC Dallas.
Hasn't hardly had any minutes with FC Dallas, just 20 minutes in 3 games this year. And in 2 of those games, he was really just time-wasting substitutions in stoppage time. He did get 18 minutes of play against San Jose in a loss here, the last time FC Dallas lost back on May 31st. The background on Hollingshead is that he played very well, I should add, collegiately at UCLA. And FC Dallas took him with the first pick in the second round of the 2013 Super Draft. Hollingshead comes on. Moffitt's gone off. You've had Keel come on and also Diaz come off. Stephen Keel this season, the 8-year MLS veteran, has played a career high in games, starts, and minutes with FC Dallas. He's had 16 league appearances. He's started 14 times. He's played just over 1,300 minutes this year. He's been a very valuable, solid, professional option at center back for FC Dallas this season, and he sends a long ball forward, Keel does, that Ethan White is the first to head down for DC United. So Oscar Perea has had to, with the start of the second half now, make all 3 of the substitutions. Jim Curtin has yet to have to make 1 substitution. So clearly in that aspect of tonight's match, Philadelphia holds the upper hand on something that could go for sure another 45 minutes, obviously, and potentially another 75 minutes.
Yeah, it just raises the importance of FC Dallas trying to win this game in regulation, because there are guys out there right now. If you're asking them to go 120 minutes, it's going to be really tough, especially in this heat.
And Latu puts a ball in front, and a quick goal here to start the second half for Philadelphia. The goal for the Union. Latu with the setup. And that is Amobi Akugo scoring against FC Dallas again. Akugo's last 3 goals have been against FC Dallas earlier this year in the regular season in the league, last June at PPL Park, and now here in the Open Cup. He has given Philadelphia a 1-0 lead on a goal in the 47th minute.
And we talked about all the backline shuffling FC Dallas has been doing. At some point, it's going to hurt you. We saw it there, a little bit of miscommunication. Sebastian Latu, the player who you could call Mr. Open Cup, with the great cross in. Akugo with the easy finish.
Philadelphia in front 1-0 on Amobi Akugo's goal, and assist should be credited there to Latu. That's his first assist in Open Cup play this year. Now Williams throws it in, and a big tug down by Michel against Vincent Nogueira, which was not whistled. And Watson will play the ball forward to Fabian Castillo. Now a chance for FC Dallas to counterattack. Tesho Akindele looking to play Fabian Castillo on a run through the midfield. And McMath, as he's done all night long, has been very confident and very aggressive coming out off his line to deal with balls that have been lofted or played through into the box.
He's been fantastic, and like we said earlier, It makes you wonder why they went out and grabbed another goalkeeper, but a good game from McMath. And you know, for FC Dallas, we look at these substitutions and it really affects the team. And we talk about the 5 international rule for Open Cup. A guy like Andres Escobar, unable to play tonight. They bring in Hollingshead to play on the wing instead of a guy like Escobar that you would think would come in.
As a matter of fact, Philadelphia had to change their lineup before tonight's game. The initial lineup that was submitted 1 hour before kickoff included 6 internationals. And Fabinho had to be taken out of the 18 and replaced with Fred. Now here's Latu, bumps it back, and Nogueira rather, skies one over.
Something we haven't seen a lot of over this unbeaten run for FC Dallas is playing as you would expect. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Oscar Pareja's team responds to going down a goal early in the second half.
Well, something for FC Dallas from a hope standpoint to cling to is that this season within MLS, Philadelphia and Houston have allowed the most second-half goals, 24 each. Charging through the midfield, off the post on a shot by Winger. He had Fernandez beaten to Raul's right, and Andrew Winger inches away from a second quick goal for Philadelphia to start the second half. How close was that to 2-0? But now this leads to a counterattack going the other way. Fabian Castillo trying to hold possession, dragging a ball into the box. Tesho Akindelli along the byline. Plays it to the corner. And the last touch was by Ramon Gaddis. Corner coming here, just the second one of the match tonight. Here's a look back at Winger, ringing one off the post from 20 yards out. Michel, the second corner tonight for FC Dallas. To McMath's left. Connor Casey drives the header back out.
And this is what you expect in the second half of an Open Cup game. Things get crazy. We've already seen more action in the first 5 minutes of the second half than we saw in the entire first half.
The winner will host the final in the Open Cup, be it against Seattle or Chicago. Michel. FC Dallas hoping for an equalizer. Casey stepped in front of Matt Hedges and is able to poke it free and spring the Union on a counterattack led by Latu, who will hold up. Square to the goal scorer, Akugo. Racing in was Hollingshead. Out to the right to Michael Lahoud. Not sure if that was shot or cross, but nevertheless read well and played. Fernandez alert to the danger. Hollingshead on the left. Pac-12 Player of the Year as a senior at UCLA. Hollingshead was drafted in 2013 but didn't join FC Dallas until this year in training camp, which we'll tell you more about later. But here's something potentially developing for FC Dallas, but Blas Perez lost possession. Now Nogueira loses to Victor Ulloa. Blas back to goal. Tapped it to Michel. Now Ulloa. Ulloa looking to chip over the top, but there was a foul as Ulloa was playing the ball in. Or was there? No, I'm not sure Mark Geiger's calling anything here. No, he's not.
Like we said, this game just wide open right now. 53rd minute.
Lahoud with a header that holds it in the attacking half for Philadelphia. Keel to Watson. Akugo the goal. 47th minute. They've given not just Latu an assist, but also Vincent Nogueira. Hard run down the right with great pace Watson, but his cross is easily dealt with by Philadelphia. The goal has clearly opened up the game.
And if you're Philadelphia, that's not really something you want right now earlier in the second half.
As noted earlier, Philly, most goals are tied for the most goals conceded in MLS in the second half this year. Houston and Philly have both allowed 24 second half goals.
Like you mentioned, Philly with all 3 subs left. FC Dallas 0 subs left.
In the first half, Zimmerman went off. Watson came in to start the second half. Diaz and Moffitt off with injuries, replaced by Stephen Keel and Ryan Hollingshead. Unpopular call by Mark Geiger, as you can tell.
Looked like Nogueira went down after the ball had gone away from him there, but he gets the call. Geiger not terribly close to the play on that one.
Headed down by Hedges to Hollingshead. Hollingshead was trying to pick out Blas Perez at the halfway line. Latou. And Latou is down, and Mark Geiger is given that foul.
Definitely starting to hear it from the crowd here. FC Dallas trying very hard to win the ball back and get something going, leaving a late foot in there.
Free kick coming here for Philadelphia. Quick start. Latou on the right. Hollingshead. Hollingshead slides in. Tap the ball over the touchline. Long throw coming from Shanon Williams. Williams, the leader in appearances for the Union since joining MLS in 2010. 117 MLS games. Casey with the foul in the box. It was he and Hedges who came together going for that ball. You can raise your red with 2015 FC Dallas season tickets on sale now. Exchange dates, extra matches, meet the team events are all included. Also, food, beverage.
I'm Shonda, and you're watching FCD TV.
FC Dallas season ticket holder. Visit FCDallas.com or call 888-FCD-GOAL for more information and to purchase 2015 FC Dallas season tickets. Long throw coming for Zach Lloyd on the left side. Lloyd launched it in at the near post, and McMath rises up to corral for the Union.
We just haven't seen FC Dallas able to craft much offensively. Really, it's been individual efforts coming from the wings rather than kind of possession-based play. With no subs left, they're going to have to try to figure something out.
Something that, of course, adds to the storyline tonight from the Philadelphia perspective is not only a chance for their first trophy since joining MLS, their first chance at silverware since joining the league in 2010. But another interesting note is they have never beaten FC Dallas. 7 times they played in MLS games, 3 wins for FC Dallas, 4 draws between the teams, and that includes a late
97th minute
winner last year for Blas Perez.
97th minute on that one.
Second latest goal in FC Dallas history, only Chad Deering back in 1999 scored in the 99th minute. In the midfield, Ulloa gains possession for FC Dallas. Castillo looking for Hollingshead. Hollingshead a touch in the box. Sets up Blas Perez, tries to chip McMath! Oh! Right idea with McMath out off his line. Going for the cheeky chip. Blas Perez just a little bit too much.
Best chance of the game so far for FC Dallas. Really good work by Ryan Hollingshead. Pulls McMath out of goal. Does well to keep the ball. Gets it to Blas Perez at the top of the box. Couldn't quite find the trigger on that one. Definitely want that one back.
58th minute was a real tasty opportunity for FC Dallas.
Yeah, and I think the team can definitely find confidence from that, though, knowing that they're starting to get some opportunities.
Nice to see Hollingshead involved in that. He's been available for play in the Open Cup games this year. He's been in the 18. Just hasn't been called into action by Oscar Perea. But if there's one thing that we know about Oscar from his time here as an assistant, working with the academy and now as the head coach, if you can play, it doesn't matter if you're young, he'll give you the chance.
Yeah, he's not afraid to give anyone a shot, change the lineup at any time. he rewards the players who play the best in practice, which is obviously very, very refreshing.
Had a nice chat with him Friday after training about young players, and he said, look, I look at a player, I don't see the level they played at before. Talking about Tesho Akindele, for example, who was a Division II college player. And handball, Oscar said, I don't see the level that they played at. I don't see age. If you can play, if I like you as a player, I will give you your opportunity if I think it's warranted. And he had a coach, he said, at the age of 17, said, here's your chance, go play. It's like, Coach, I'm only 17 years old. That doesn't matter. You're a good player, go play.
You've got to be ready to play. If you're on the roster, you've absolutely got to be ready. Something that we haven't necessarily
believing in the be ready philosophy for any player on the roster.
Well, and the flip side of that is if you're a starter, you know no job is safe. You're not, your name isn't written in pen on the team sheet.
A giveaway here. Nogueira on the build-up to Casey wide. Off Hedges. Can he keep it in play? Yes, he can. Hedges got there. Hedges and a tough spot in the corner, and with the deflection off the hip of Connor Casey, they do. Dallas on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can Hollingshead, Blas Perez. Even though Castillo isn't really a number 10, he's sort of trying to make an attempt at filling that role on the field right now.
Well, and you just want to find him with the ball in space, however you can.
And we're accustomed to seeing those long runs, those long dribbles down the left, and Castillo cutting in. Akindele looking to win the ball or a whistle, and now you've got Michael LaHood in space. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had a lot better options on that one. See your Tesho Akindele, he wanted a foul call on that one. Shannon Williams looked like he won the ball there.
Now Blas Perez is back to goal. Philadelphia.
And
back to Williams, and he'll back pass to McMath, Daniel.
And I think the Union are fine with letting FC Dallas get the ball with back to goal because they know they can win it back. It's when FC Dallas is running at players with their speed that they're so dangerous, and right now they're just unable to do that.
Lloyd floats it into the middle. Ethan White does well, staying between Akindele and the ball. LaHood and Vincent Nogueira. Nogueira in his first year in Major League Soccer, 7 years in France, 29 years old. McMath. Hedges for FC Dallas. Settles, plays to Lloyd. Lloyd trying to get forward. Latou did the work, getting back defensively.
And these are the things FC Dallas wants right now, trying to earn throw-ins and corner kicks that they can get the ball in the box. These throw-ins almost work like set pieces.
Lloyd launches it into the box. Akindele heads towards the back. Hedges trying to win it. Hollingshead couldn't get there. Maurice Adu drives it to the other end, and this is well done by Brian Brown. FC Dallas will have to get back. A setup to Latou. Squares to the left and poked in by Nogueira. May actually have been tapped back by the foot of an FCD player. Through to Castillo. McMath out. McMath got there a split second before Fabian Castillo. He is controlling that 18-yard box tonight. Zach McMath, that is.
Doing his best Manuel Neuer impression.
Hollingshead out wide to Javon Watson. The last touch was by Watson.
Look here on the replay, a really nice ball from Blas Perez to Fabian Castillo. Really good work by McMath to get off his line there. Just like you said, a split second.
McMath this year, 6 wins, 8 losses, 9 draws in the league, 3 clean sheets in MLS play, 1 start in the Open Cup, the 2-0 quarterfinal win over New England. Andre Blake started the other 2 wins for Philadelphia against USL Pro Harrisburg City and against NASL New York Cosmos. Now Castillo charging through the middle. Again, McMath. There is contact with the keeper. Obviously, Ethan White, Shane and Williams aren't going to like that you do have contact between Castillo and McMath after McMath secures possession.
We'll see the replay here. If Castillo goes down there on the contact from White, he might get a foul call, but stays up, tries to get the ball. Really good work by Victor Ulloa to spring the chance. Still, Philadelphia holds on to the lead, and McMath stays down. Like you said, he's probably the man of the match right now for Philadelphia. Just fantastic performance.
He's the man of the match, but the guy who has been a consistent thorn in FC Dallas' side, not just tonight, but over the last 2 seasons, is Amobi Akugo. He has scored a goal tonight and has a goal in his last 3 games against FC Dallas, his last 3 goals that he scored. Akugo only has 4 in his MLS career, and 2 have been against FC Dallas in league games, and now this one tonight. Akugo was the 6th pick of the 2010 Super Draft. Another player out of UCLA.
He didn't start Saturday for the Union, resting him against Montreal. Obviously a good decision by Jim Curtin. He's playing at his best tonight.
Good work by Lloyd, but Noguera to Lahoud. Lahoud able to elude Ryan Hollingshead. Noguera bumps it back. Akugo the goal scorer. Latu and Noguera, who are linking up here, are the players who had assist. Throw for Philly. The other semifinal tomorrow is Seattle Sounders and Chicago Fire. The winner will go away to the winner of tonight's match in the final in September. Date of the final to be determined. Potential dates: the 16th or 17th of September, or the 30th of September, and actually I believe October 1st is also a potential date for the final as well. Lloyd from Matt Hedges. Ethan White having a tough time with Blas Perez. Ball won by Blas. Blas out on the left, back to goal, taken down, going to the pocket, first card. Into the book, Ethan White. Yellow, 75th minute.
We've seen a lot of action off the ball today. Little kicks, hasn't necessarily gone called, but we finally see one called there. Ethan White battling against Blas Perez, such a big, strong forward. Little kicks, tussling at him, a little push there at the end. This is what FC Dallas wants. Michel on a dangerous set piece, 25 yards out.
On the left-hand side, Michel typically looks to bend these towards the back post with players streaming forward for a chance at a header on goal. 2-man wall. Michel clears the wall. It's free in the box. It's cleared by Andrew Winger. Held in by Zach Lloyd, but does not put this in position for FC Dallas to do anything.
Again, great work by Zach McMath coming off his line.
And then Zach McMath quickly plays forward, and Michel and Brian Brown are both down. Michel tugged down Brian Brown. Michel also went down himself. And we're in the final quarter hour of the match now with Philadelphia up a goal. Mark Followill, Daniel Robertson, our webcast tonight on FCDallas.com. Hope you're enjoying.
50-50 call there going the Union's way. The thing FCD needs to worry about is when they do get those set pieces, getting hit on the counterattack.
Winger cutting in, took a deflection, and ended up being a dangerous ball. And that is a corner conceded because of that touch by Lloyd right after, or right along that byline. Latou with the corner. This is the first corner in the second half tonight for the Union. Skips through, winger. Remember, get the latest Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup results and information by going online to ussoccer.com.
Looks like the referee's going to bring that one back. It looked like the ball was still moving when Raul Fernandez took the goal kick. Play it short this time.
The way Blas Perez played that back to the other end, it's obvious that the frustration level and the urgency, of course, is rising. The sense of urgency. Down the right, Castillo.
And you got to give a lot of credit to this Union back line right now. They're doing a fantastic job on the FC Dallas forwards. They're really making a lot of runs off the ball. And
Case in point right there, Maurice Adu.
Yep. Of course, Philadelphia still with plenty of subs left on the bench. They have 2 left to make. Andre Blake, Carlos Valdez, Christian Maidana, Brian Carroll, Danny Cruz, and Fred.
Christian Maidana has been out of the lineup for the last 3 games with a hamstring injury. That's a player with 8 assists, though, this year, including 1 on Akugo's goal against FC Dallas back here on July 4th. Latou able to stretch and poke it to Nogueira. Good interplay between Nogueira and Latou. Akugo closed down by Michel.
See Blas Perez working so hard there, almost in defensive midfield, trying to win the ball back, which you like to see, but at the same time, you want him up the field.
Looming later this week, whenever these 2 teams are back in league play, Philly has to go down to Houston to play on Friday night. Meanwhile, FC Dallas will be at Buckshaw Stadium Saturday night against San Jose, a team that they really need points against this season. They've lost to San Jose twice this year. 2-1 defeats there and here back in May. But the focus right now is trying to move on to the final of the U.S. Open Cup. First order of business for FC Dallas is an equalizer. They've got 12 minutes and stoppage time to make that happen. Acadelli, diagonal run to meet the ball from Castillo. Through 2 defenders, cross deflected. Back to Lloyd. Lost it to Akugo. Nogueira to Andrew Winger. Combines again with Nogueira.
Right now, FC Dallas, when they attack, it almost seems it's 1-on-2 every single time, which, yes, you can get through that first wave, but then when the second defender comes, they're losing the ball every time.
Between the back line and McMath's sweeper-keeper type work tonight, I'm not sure FC Dallas, it's going to be very difficult anyhow to make one happen in the run of play. As I say that, they look to chip Castillo on a through ball, tugged down. He did get a touch, but obviously nothing that could put FC Dallas in any position to keep going forward. Only 1 sub has been made by Jim Curtin. Injuries forced FC Dallas into making all 3 of their subs so far tonight. 1 late in the first half and 2 to start the second half. Zimmerman, Diaz, and Moffitt have all come off tonight for FC Dallas, replaced by Watson, Stephen Keel, and Ryan Hollingshead. A giveaway by Castillo, but a ball won back, stepping up Ulloa. And it was Watson who had the giveaway in the back, not Castillo a moment ago. Now you've got Castillo headed back on a 1-2 by Blas Perez. Once again, here's McMath. Didn't get to it. Castillo's got it open net to shoot and goal! 81st minute equalizer. FC Dallas makes it 1-1. Castillo keeps up his incredible goal-scoring streak.
Toyota Stadium is going crazy, Mark. We've seen Zach McMath coming off his line the entire game. It was just a matter of time before he got punished. 10 minutes left in the game. A ball over the top to Castillo.
9 straight games now, Daniel, in all competitions. Either a goal or an assist for Fabian Castillo. It's his 4th goal this year in the Open Cup. He now moves into a 4-way tie for the lead in Open Cup goals scored here in 2014. Kenny Cooper will have a chance tomorrow night, as a matter of fact, to move out of that tie. Obviously, Gaston Fernandez from Portland, another one of the players involved, and he's done. But now, can FC Dallas win before time, or are we looking at extra time?
And we talked about it before the game started. Fabian Castillo is perhaps the MVP of the entire tournament. Goals in every single game.
And they were able to score one in the run of play and have a chance again as the ball is bumped by Blas Perez to Hollingshead. Hollingshead directing a shot wide. One more look there at the goal by Fabian Castillo.
You see on the replay, he did a really good job of getting around McMath, getting the touch to the ball before the keeper could get there. It wasn't an easy finish. Plenty of composure there to get the goal, tie the match.
1-1. Akugo scored for Philadelphia in the 47th minute, and then Castillo in the 81st minute for FC Dallas. Blas Perez has been credited with an assist, and it is 1-1 now in the 83rd minute.
And we have seen drama in every single one of Philadelphia's Open Cup games this year, late drama. No surprise that we see another late goal.
Typically for Philadelphia, it was them scoring the late goals. They forced extra time when Maurice Edu scored in the 89th minute in their first match with Harrisburg City. They needed a 114th minute penalty to go in front and dispose of New York Cosmos. Coming down the left, here's Williams, got it on his right foot, shot blocked. Philadelphia keeps possession. Michael Lahoud leaves for Brian Brown, toe poke by Hedges. Backheeled by Blas Perez. Counterattack here. Akindelli doesn't have many options in support, and as a matter of fact, lost the ball to Maurice Edu. Michael Lahoud to Latou, the leading goal scorer in the modern era of the Open Cup. Latou, 14 goals, including 3 this year. 11 in his past with Seattle Sounders FC. Good work here by Philly. And then stepping forward, Matt Hedges.
And if you're FC Dallas, you need to be very, very careful right now.
Here's Blas Perez winning a ball from Maurice Edu. He's got Castillo joining in support. He tries to play Castillo through, but an alert small flick by Ethan White.
And what I was going to say is you need to be careful. You've put up so much energy to get to this point. You can't give it up late.
Boy, McMath all night long has been so confident, so aggressive, making plays coming out off his line, but 4 minutes ago he was beaten in that effort to do so. Unable to win a ball, Castillo rounds and scores into the open net.
That definitely woke up the crowd, Mark.
It sure did. As you would hope and expect. Hedges forward to Akindelli. Pings around off Castillo and Akugo. 1-2 back to Ulloa. Akindelli, another 1-2. Nice combination play. Ulloa's got a chance to cross here. A weak cross. Ethan White deals with it. Not the greatest of clearances. Noguera and Lloyd rise for the header. Hedges keeps it inside the halfway line for FC Dallas. Michel bumps to Castillo. Akindelli Akindelli pressing forward. Right to McMath.
FCD's starting to find those little pockets of space that they couldn't find throughout the entire match. They're beginning to open up here, and it's going to be interesting to see whether Jim Curtin brings on a guy maybe like Brian Carroll to try and lock down that defensive midfield.
Winger's touch, then booted forward by Watson. Akindelli wanted to Michel. A lot of space out of the right now for Javon Watson. Nudges it forward with the header. Can cross. Blas Perez trying to get in the end of it. Too much on that cross for Javon Watson.
4 minutes plus stoppage time, Mark. Are we going to see a late winner?
If it goes to 30 minutes of extra time, Philadelphia has won twice this year in those opportunities. It's been a long time since FC Dallas has had to go to extra time in the Open Cup, save for one match this year against Houston. But their record is 11-2 all-time in the Open Cup when they've had to go to extra time. And that includes, if it gets that far, a perfect 4-0 in penalties. Lloyd. Forward to Castillo. He's got Blas Perez and Tesho Akindelli running in support. Blas overlaps behind. Castillo darting to the byline. Across! McMath got a fingertip on it.
Fabian Castillo finding all sorts of space for FC Dallas right now. Running down the left wing against Ethan White. Zach McMath out of his box again, off his line. Just gets a piece of it. That one looked headed for the back of the net.
Yeah, that may have been more shot than cross. It was a cross like that against Chivas USA that set up Tesho for a tap-in goal just 9 days ago when those two teams played out at the StubHub Center.
Every single fan at Toyota Stadium on their feet right now, Mark.
Danny Cruz is getting ready to come on for Philadelphia, but I don't think the sub is going to happen until after the corner and at the next stoppage in play. The set-piece specialist, Michel. We'll go for a drink while players position in the box. Michel getting ready. The match moving into the 89th minute as he approaches this corner to McMath's left. Bending in, right in front, down in front, cleared off the line, no goal! Shouts for it by FC Dallas, but amidst a mass of bodies, someone got that off the line for the Union, and they counterattack. With Lahoud holding it up in the center circle and Keel intercepting for FC Dallas. That is a textbook Michel in-swinging corner, drops right in front.
We're looking at the replay here. Just a mass of bodies. Someone's going to get a shot in there.
I think it's Hedges.
Definitely not a handball. Didn't look like the ball crossed the line. Good call from the referee.
And Ethan White. Ethan White is the one who had that ball that just hit him in the chest initially, and then he's able to boot it from about a foot off the line and out of the danger area.
And this is what the Open Cup is all about.
Well, until, of course, you get to MLS Cup playoffs, and even in that case, you've got two-leg situations. It's the only one-and-done knockout tournament that you've got in America, and so there's obviously a lot of pride at stake in terms of winning it. It's a tournament that's in its 101st year, and Lamar Hunt and the Hunt family, of course, part of why FC Dallas exists today. And so certainly it would be very special for this club to win the Open Cup for the second time in history and the first time since 1997. When after a goalless 120 minutes against DC United, FC Dallas won on penalties. And the final played that year on a cold night in Indianapolis. Danny Cruz did come on a moment ago. Only 2 minutes of added time.
I'm not sure both teams wouldn't just be happy to get to extra time and kind of regroup here.
So we're into stoppage time at Toyota Stadium. Nogueira had a chance to play a ball to LaHood. And again, a moment ago, Philadelphia did use their second sub, so they still have one more option to go to, provided, of course, that there's not some sort of late winner for one of the clubs. Hollingshead bumps it forward to Akindelli. Akindelli played the ball past Ramon Gaddis. It's a foot race. Akindelli will slide in against Adu. Win the ball. Down to the box. Adu clears. And now FC Dallas will need the pace to get back. Zach Lloyd. Fernandez is way out, and Fernandez does the safe, smart play here with Lloyd and Sebastian Latude both picking him up and putting him down to get there. It is Fernandez who boots it out. Maybe 45 seconds of stoppage time remaining. Down goes Blas Perez. Nogueira with the foul.
Got to give a huge amount of credit to Blas there winning the ball. Just great work off the ball all night by FC Dallas. Ever since Philadelphia scored, they haven't stopped the work trying to win the ball back. "20 seconds left here in added time.
By the way, for those who might have missed it, Andrew Winger was the player that was subbed out with Danny Cruz. Came on for Philadelphia a couple of moments ago. Michel, maybe the last attack, headed down here by Akindelli, and that's it. It will be 30 minutes of extra time. If there is not a winner after 30 minutes, it will go to penalties. The semifinals of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. In the second half, the goals were scored by Amobi Akugo for Philadelphia in the 47th minute, assisted by Latu and by Nogueira. And in the 81st minute, Fabian Castillo assisted by Blas Perez. 1-1, Philadelphia and FC Dallas after 90 minutes, Daniel.
I mean, that second half was everything you expect from a Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup semifinal. End-to-end action all over the field. FCD finally gets the equalizer there late in the second half. Fabian Castillo, the guy who's scored in every single round this year. You wouldn't expect a goal from anyone else. Let's see the highlights. There's Latu with the cross. Amobi Akugo with the goal there early in the second half.
And Akugo with 3 goals in his last 3 games against FC Dallas, counting this year on July the 4th. And last season at PPL Park, there's Andrew Winger, who just a few minutes after that rings a shot off the post. Our camera guys with great crowd shots tonight, by the way. This is a theme that we'll see often, not crowd shots, but Zach McMath out off his line a moment ago.
Judging by my Twitter, mentions it is a theme we have seen all night.
Now here's Fabian Castillo. Again, they try to play a ball through to Fabian, and once again, Zach McMath out off his line successfully to win that ball.
Yeah, and that chance was exactly identical to the one where he finally scored here. McMath finally 1/2 second late, and Fabian Castillo punished him. And that's the danger of a player like Fabian Castillo. He can be quiet all game. You give him that one opportunity, and he's going to finish it. 9 games straight with a goal or an assist now. He's one of the best players in MLS.
In the league this year, he's scored 6 goals, now 4 goals in the Open Cup. This is a player who's still just 22 years old. He'll be playing his 100th career MLS game, provided that he takes the field, and one would have to assume that he will Saturday night whenever FC Dallas plays at San Jose Earthquakes.
Well, and it's interesting you mentioned that. Obviously, both teams have games this weekend. Philadelphia with the game on Friday night in Houston. But I think at this point, both teams aren't even worried about that. You sacrifice that game to try and get to an Open Cup final.
Of course. I think it's said best by down to our right. I don't know that anybody has had a chance to see the sign, but one of the supporters groups, small contingent setting behind the goal where Raul Fernandez was just a moment ago, but Queremos la Copa.
Yep.
We want the cup.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. We saw it last year with DC United. No matter how bad you are, you're 5 wins from a trophy.
Yeah.
And some teams take it more seriously than others, and it's a shame that some teams don't, give this trophy the respect it deserves maybe. FC Dallas has certainly played a starting lineup in every game this year, a first-team starting lineup. But I can tell you right now, this is one of the most exciting games we've seen this season. That second half was incredible.
Well, it's 1-1 through 90 minutes. Oscar Pereira with a long team talk here between the end of normal time and the start of extra time.
Dallas is going to have to dig deep here. All 3 subs made by halftime. The Union still have 1 left. I notice it when the referee blew his final whistle. a couple of Dallas players just collapsed to the ground. All of the Philadelphia Union players still up, so this fitness is going to be very tested.
Jim Curtin, the interim head coach for Philadelphia. In all competitions, Philadelphia 6-1-3 since he took over. 35 years old. He went to college at Villanova. He was born in suburban Philadelphia. Had a 9-year career in the league, mostly with Chicago. A couple of seasons at the end with Chivas. Took over for John Hackworth in early June, and now his club in the same boat as FC Dallas with the chance to host the final of the Open Cup, depending on what transpires in the next 30 minutes. And then, of course, there is that prospect of penalties looming out there. Zach McMath has been the better keeper in stopping penalty kicks in games in his career, and especially this season. Raul Fernandez had a very awkward attempt at trying to stop a penalty where he was 3 yards out off his line against Gabby Torres for Colorado the other night. It was still slotted home easily by Gabriel Torres. But Fernandez has only stopped 1 of 6 penalties in his career, and it's 5 in a row. Meanwhile, McMath this year stopped his first 3, and those were against Mike McGee, Alvaro Saborio, and Ozzie Alonso. Finally, a couple were scored against him recently by Pedro Morales in Vancouver, who's been perfect this year on penalties, and Dylan Powers recently for Colorado. And a game where Colorado stormed back against 10-man Philadelphia to salvage a draw with 2 goals after Philadelphia went down to 10. Early in extra time. Castillo settles. Cuts in. Cuts toward the byline. Puts a ball in front. Perez trying to get there. Oh, and McMath down to his left to make the save. Bloss able to turn and surprisingly get a shot with some power on target.
And Fabian Castillo has just hit another level here in the last 15 minutes. Another great run down the left side. Twists and turns his defender. Great cross into Perez. Couldn't quite get enough on the shot. Well saved by McMath.
Remember that you can check out the FC Dallas fan shop located at Toyota Stadium for your 2014 FC Dallas Advocare jersey that you can get personalized with your favorite player's name, plus check out other FCD apparel and gift ideas. Different specials are available every week with the hours 10 to 4 Monday to Thursday, 10 to 3 on Friday, and the store opening at 2 p.m. on game days.
Of course, 2 15-minute halves here in overtime.
Correct.
Not golden goal situation. We will play 30 more minutes.
It's been a while since the Open Cup was golden goal.
Yeah.
Down the right. Corner 1, FC Dallas. Hollingshead. Haven't had a chance to see, obviously, much of Hollingshead. Just 20 minutes in 3 games before having to come on tonight to start the second half. One thing you could say about Hollingshead is with his size, he can be strong on the ball.
I think he's done great tonight. I think he's done a fantastic job of linking up, holding the ball up, and just causing havoc, which is what you want from him.
FC Dallas almost scored off Michel's last corner. Line drives it in, headed out by Vincent Nogueira. Bump back on the header by Ulloa. Watson volleyed one back blindly, played it right to Latu. Brian Brown a hold up. Now Brown darting into the box. Watson hoping to shield Brian Brown from the ball and is able to do so.
Little Jamaican on Jamaican battle there for FC Dallas. If
Watson has over 30 caps, Brian Brown has one.
And if you think FC Dallas hasn't played much overtime at Toyota Stadium, it's because you're right. This is the first overtime game in the Open Cup for FC Dallas here at home since 2007.
Nudged forward on the header by Akindelli.
Of course, in 2007, they went to the Open Cup final.
And lost at home to New England, 3-2 in the final. I believe Taylor Twellman had a goal that night for New England.
I remember Abe Thompson scored for FC Dallas, and that's about all I remember.
Abe Thompson, one of the tied for the leading goal scorer in Open Cup history for FC Dallas. Abe Thompson and Kenny Cooper have 6 goals for FC Dallas in Open Cup history. Blas Perez has 5, and Fabian Castillo is moving up the ladder with his 4th tonight. They've all been here in 2014. And Ethan White is sitting on a yellow as he bumps Akindelli, shielding the ball and ushering it over the byline.
You just can't give Fabian Castillo enough credit. I mean, we talked about it in the first half. He really was pretty insignificant in the game. Struggled through the first hour of the game, but he just started working himself in, started finding that space, and he could make the difference here in this one, as he has for the whole tournament.
He's just a player that, you know, we've had the chance to watch him for several years now, and this will be a corner coming here for Philadelphia. In Castillo's case, sometimes the decision-making in the final third is frustrating, but there is an element that every team that prepares for FC Dallas has to game plan for, and that is the almost blinding pace of Castillo. And certainly the decision-making and the finishing is getting better, no question,
Absolutely.
this season in the final third.
9 games in a row.
Goal or an assist. Blas Perez drove the header out. Now you've got Latou. Boy, FC Dallas has conceded a lot of space in the back, but Latou plays it over, and Blas Perez really stepped up, well met with that header, driving it out of the box, and as a result, I just saw as Skylar Richards, the athletic trainer, came on, it almost looked like Blas was pointing back to his neck.
Yeah.
That's where the pain and the soreness and the problem was. But you could tell immediately after he stepped forward on that corner, Daniel, and drove that header out of the box, that something wasn't quite right, that he immediately bent over at the waist, and a couple of seconds later was down to his knees.
Yeah, it looks like he's back up and okay. You know, going back to Fabian Castillo, I think it's interesting. The old Castillo, or should we say the younger Castillo?
Yes.
When he struggled in the first hour of games, you wouldn't see him again and he would get subbed out. He would lose. If he didn't have something good happen for him, or if he took a hard tackle early in the game, he would totally check out and you wouldn't see him for the whole match. Well, in the last 2 games, we've seen Castillo do almost nothing in the first hour and then come up and score a goal on a you know, one of his good touches. And I think that says a whole lot about his development.
Bad back pass. Bad back pass by Lloyd. Well wide of goal, and Fernandez unable to race out. Corner coming.
And here comes Christian Maidana.
Maidana hasn't played in the last 3 games for Philadelphia. 27-year-old DP from Argentina. Maidana this year, 2 goals, 8 assists.
He comes in for Sebastian Latou, who I think we saw on that last cross has definitely kind of run out of gas. He's had a good game, though.
Yes, he has. Assisted on Amobi Akugo's goal tonight. But Sebastian Latou's all-time modern-era lead in Open Cup goals will not be built upon tonight. It will stay at 14. Now here's Maidana. His first touch is a corner that you just hated to see FC Dallas concede. And Maidana puts the ball right in front. Watson, a vital header. This is going to come out in front. Blocked by Danny Cruz's shot, blocked. And the foul in the box.
Boy, and those are some nervous moments there. As you said, a corner that you just can't concede at this point in the game. Ball swung in. Good job by Javon Watson being on the spot. Shot hits Amobi Akugo in the hand.
Ended up being handball. Stephen Keel floats it down the right flank. First touch by Tesho. Edu sends it out near the halfway line where Ulloa. Along the ground to Akindelli. Won by Vincent Noguera. Danny Cruz. Back to Noguera. A collision. Looked Looked like knee to knee with Nogueira and Ulloa. Ulloa is still down. Cruz pressing forward. Cruz still pressing forward, shooting. Saved by Fernandez. A deflection on the second attempt. And Fernandez has it.
Boy, that's a tough one there on Victor Ulloa. I think they'd like a foul call on that one. Good job by Raul Fernandez. And FC Dallas right now, there's a huge gap right in the middle of the field. They've got numbers pushed forward. Akindele, Hollingshead, Castillo. They send the ball forward, though, and they're just susceptible to the counterattack every single time.
There was the follow-up by Maidana that took a nasty deflection, but dealt with well by Fernandez. Oh, and here's a deflection right back to McMath. The back pass by Shanen Williams, and Hollingshead was lurking. It ended up pinballing off his hip right back to McMath.
These tired legs, sometimes they make mistakes.
The layoff to Cruz. Nogueira in the middle. Maidana just subbed on for Latu. Out to the left to Lloyd. The history of the keepers when it comes to penalties really puts the onus on FC Dallas to win here in extra time. They've got a chance! Hollingshead wide. Arriving on a ball, well struck with power, but not the placement from Ryan Hollingshead.
Good vision for Blas Perez to find him stringing down the right wing. All sorts of space. He has time to settle, and he's got to get that one on frame.
In the 101st minute. We noted this earlier. This is not quite as sweltering as you would expect an August night in Frisco.
Yeah, not too bad. But you talk about Ryan Hollingshead. This is probably the most professional minutes he's played in 2 years, competitive minutes.
High today here was only in the low 90s. Oh, now Akindele from Blas Perez. McMath able to come out off his line and had plenty of time to gather himself for a strong clearance. And a poor play by Ulloa leads to a throw for Philadelphia. Remember to keep up with the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup updates on Twitter by following @US Soccer. Quick layoff for Nogueira from Christian Maidana. Maidana from Argentina. Professional experience in Argentina, Russia, Spain, Chile, and Mexico. Castillo, little tug from Nogueira. Another tug. Castillo stays on his feet, pressing forward. Down he goes. The card will be given here. Remember that Ethan White is out there sitting on a yellow. It's not White who was shown the card.
Fabian Castillo, man, he is having an unbelievable second half. 2 tugs there. Stays on his feet. Lahoud on his backside.
And it's Lahoud.
Definitely fouls him there.
But White was the second defender in with contact to Castillo, but certainly the card to Michael Lahoud. And this gives FC Dallas a free kick from just over the bridge of the penalty area.
Crowd rises. This is Michel's spot.
At San Jose this year, from a very close, similar spot, he was able to strike one over the wall
with power,
and with power smash in off the underside of the crossbar.
Yeah, this is a tough one to get up and over the wall, so you're just hoping to hit it with as much power as you can and find a seam.
103rd minute. 104 by the time Michel takes this free kick. And there is positioning of the wall. Players for Philadelphia creeping just forward. Mark Geiger.
The spray don't lie.
Mark Geiger. He stopped play on Michel's run-up. The 33-year-old from Brazil. with a big moment at his feet right here. Blocked by the wall. Not his best effort.
If that was 10 yards, I don't know.
Nudged forward by Brown. Nice header laid down by Maidana. But then a poor ball out wide. Brown hoping for Danny Cruz.
And Michelle is down behind the ball. Didn't see what happened there, but he is not moving.
FC Dallas has used all of their 3 substitutes, and they did so, again, if you just tuned into the webcast, all 3 subs were used by FC Dallas by the start of the second half. Late in the first half, Walker Zimmerman went off with an injury. And Javon Watson came on, Daniel, and then to start the second half, Adam Moffitt and Mario Diaz both came off. And Stephen Keel and Ryan Hollingshead had to sub in at that point.
Yeah, they've had to shuffle the entire back line, the entire midfield. Just a heroic effort to stay in this game against a Philadelphia team that has lost once since May 31st. You can't fault the effort. No matter what the score is, you absolutely can't fault the effort from both teams.
FC Dallas, a team that has not lost since the 1st of June. The last time that they had to taste defeat, May 31st. Home game with San Jose, dropped a 2-1 scoreline. The words of, it's going to be 1 minute of added time here at the end of this first 15 minutes of extra time. The words of Oscar Pereira, though, really resonated with the club after that, because he was clearly as upset and as disappointed and as frank about that disappointment after that game that night. And ever since then, FC Dallas starting a week later with a 3-2 victory over Colorado. Their Open Cup started with a win with 2 second-half goals against San Antonio, and that has been a springboard ever since. Unbeaten in the league, 3 wins in the Open Cup. 81st minute equalizer tonight. As you said, Daniel, long throw, Lloyd, header flicked in front, Blas Perez, big clearance by Adu, and he's upended as he does so by Ryan Hollingshead with the foul in the box. Pretty easy call for Mark Geiger.
Yeah, and you talked about it a little bit. FC Dallas, they had such a tough run through the month of April and May. We mentioned it a little bit in the Open that the Open Cup is kind of the tournament that may have turned around FC Dallas' season. They got some wins during that World Cup break over San Antonio, over Houston, got a little momentum going. They took it straight back into the MLS season, and they haven't looked back.
First 15 minutes of extra time are done. Remember that those Open Cup games for the first 2 rounds for MLS teams were during the World Cup break. 17th to the 24th, I believe, were the dates on those wins for FC Dallas against San Antonio and Texas Derby at Houston, 3-2. That night, the winner in extra time came from Akindelli in the 98th minute, but it will have to be an even later winner tonight for FC Dallas.
Yeah, and I think if you're FC Dallas right now, you're just trying not to get hit on the counterattack. You're trying to find Castillo in space, see if he can do something, see if Tesho Akindele can maybe find a seam. But you can't commit too many numbers forward because the Union have some fresh legs in attack.
Maidana and Danny Cruz.
Yep, Brian Brown, too.
Yeah. Maidana was a sub in extra time. Danny Cruz was late in the opening 90. Brian Brown came on approximately, about the 70th minute? Maybe a little bit before tonight?
About that.
15 more minutes before potential penalties. The last time that happened for FC Dallas in the Open Cup against the Atlanta Silverbacks in the 3rd round in 2007.
And as you said, 4-0 all-time in Open Cup PK shootouts. Dating back to 1997.
Yes.
When they won it.
Bookings-wise tonight, 2 cards, both to Philly, yellows to Ethan White and Michael Lahoud. No card shown FC Dallas's way tonight. Fouls are almost in a dead heat tonight. 12 against Philadelphia, 11 against FC Dallas. Shots are 14-12 in favor of FC Dallas. Saves tonight, only one made by Raul Fernandez. 4 saves by Zach McMath.
And you wonder, it doesn't come up in the save, but coming off his line to clear some others, if it's more like 6 or 7 saves really for McMath.
Yeah. Now FC Dallas approaching the other end. Los Perez. Onkendelli trying to get on the end of it. Hollingshead buzzing around Michael LaHood.
Yeah, really good work by Hollingshead there again. He has been a pest all night, and he, as we said when he came in, hasn't played a lot of minutes for FC Dallas this year, but I think he's been really good tonight. I think he's shown Oscar Pareja that he has something to offer.
He was the first pick in the 2013 second round in the Super Draft. Not nearly the distance on the throw-in from Javon Watson that we're accustomed to seeing out of Zach Lloyd. And as a result, it's weakly headed over by FC Dallas for the McMath goal kick in the 107th minute of tonight's U.S. Open Cup semifinal. McMath, the 23-year-old keeper from St. Petersburg, Florida. His counterpart, Raul Fernandez, 28 years old. Second season with FC Dallas. Capped 29 times as the #1 for Peru. Most recently in a friendly against England at Wembley earlier this year. McMath, once again.
It all started with another nice tackle from Ryan Hollingshead to win the ball.
I believe I recall a stat during one of the knockout stage Germany-Algeria matches. Oh, here's a ball blocked off Ulloa, but it'll roll over. I think that in 120 minutes in that particular match, Manuel Neuer went outside the box 18 times. Wow. McMath, hasn't been 18.
Has to be at least 10.
It's been many, many times tonight. I think you're right. It's a number that surely, if it's not in double digits, has to be very, very close at this point.
And he got punished for it once, but at the same time, he's probably stopped a couple goals doing the same thing.
Danny Cruz on the right. Final touch by Zach Lloyd. A late night here in Frisco, Texas.
Not quite a school night yet, though.
No, not quite. A couple of weeks away from that. Now Maidana in a dangerous spot. A chip in. And Raul Fernandez will distribute out of the back.
Yeah, really nice crowd here tonight for an Open Cup game, one of the largest we've seen at Toyota Stadium.
Headed back in by Castillo. Danny Cruz charging down the right. The AR was right on top of that call.
Give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Clearly it was not a call that was agreed with by FC Dallas or supporters here. That was a nice back heel by Maidana. Ramon Gaddis. Ryan Hollingshead.
Oh, boy.
And you've got a player down. Is that Castillo or Watson? It's Watson.
An awkward tackle there. Nice play by Ryan Hollingshead again to win the ball. We haven't seen Gaddis get forward too much tonight.
Gaddis has played more minutes in the league than any other Philadelphia field player this year. And has also played in all 3 Open Cup games, and now 4 counting tonight.
Yeah, and I think he's really an underrated player in MLS. You talk about guys who might get a call, look up for the national team on one of those January camps, and to me, he's right up in there with the class of guys like Kofi Sarkodie, kind of that young next crop of outside backs. I'd love to see him get a chance.
Zach Lloyd's had that, a young outside back who's been called up into one of those January camps. He's had 3 caps for the U.S., the last one for Lloyd against Panama in January of 2012. Hollingshead again, wins the ball at the halfway line. Onkendelli holds it up, back to goal. Setting up Castillo, squares for Ulloa. Ulloa, back from Los Perez on the 1-2. And sliding out 6 yards away, McMath able to gain possession and quickly distribute to Nogueira. It's a quick play out of the back and a chance here. Building up Philadelphia. Cruz. Nogueira. Maidana, layoff back to Nogueira. And Akadelli sends it back to Lloyd. And nothing is called there in Philadelphia. With the possession, Brian Brown in the box. And a shot. Oh, that is Fernandez, who was able to direct that off the post, and then it bounced back out to his right.
Second time Philadelphia's hit the post tonight. Another sneaky shot low to Fernandez's left.
Vincent
Almost out of
Nogueira.
nothing.
I believe Nogueira is the one. Yeah, that's Nogueira.
Ooh, Fernandez definitely got a piece of it, but almost trickled under him.
Ringing off the post. Vincent Nogueira and Andrew Winger have both hit the woodwork tonight for Philadelphia. Nogueira. Down he goes. Too much of that challenge for Michel. And now in the 112th minute of the match.
It's good math.
In a 1-1 tie, a free kick here from just inside 30 yards.
Yeah, this is definitely a dangerous spot where you can get it up and over the wall. The free kick from where Michel's was is almost a tough one for you because you just don't quite have that space to get the power in the placement. But this one for Maidana, definitely dangerous.
Raul Fernandez has got to get that wall positioned. Maidana is the one who will take the free kick for Philadelphia. And it just goes over, skimming over the top. Listen to Soccer Today with Mark Stein and Steve Davis, is presented by Toyota on ESPN 103.3 FM. It's on a new day and time every Sunday morning from 10 a.m. to 11. They had a great show last week, gearing up on the final Sunday before the Premier League season starts. They had one of my favorite Premier League announcers on. They had the great Rebecca Lowe.
Yeah, and for all our friends
and Stein, by the way, spoiled the Community Shield. She was taping the Community Shield.
Boy.
And Mark,
Party
the Manchester City fan that he is, was all upset when they went down 3-0 to Arsenal and gave the score. And so Rebecca Lowe DVRing the game.
Total party foul.
Yeah, Mark Stein spoiled it.
For all our friends in Philadelphia, if you don't listen to that show, it's not necessarily just a Dallas soccer show. Soccer Today is something that absolutely appeals to all American soccer fans, and that's one you're going to want to get on the podcast.
MLS, Premier League, national team, they cover it all. Great work by those guys. Many people, of course, know Mark Stein's work as a great NBA reporter for ESPN. And Steve Davis is a longtime soccer writer for any number of outlets and now the radio voice for FC Dallas.
Yeah, and that show was really the brainchild of Bobby Ryan.
The late voice of FC Dallas. And a big part of past Open Cup successes, by the way, Bobby was for FC Dallas. Third card tonight for Philadelphia. Cruz shown yellow. 114th minute.
Trying to remember which game it was, Bobby Ryan. I know he had an Open Cup hat trick.
99, I believe.
Yep, 3-2 win over the Jacksonville Cyclones at Old Panther Field in Duncanville.
This ball will fall behind Akindelli and Hollingshead. They were both in the neighborhood. Watson will circle back to Stephen Keel. Keel came on to start the second half. FC Dallas substitutes were all used up long ago. Jim Curtin ended up making one here in extra time. Sebastian Letou came off after about 100 minutes in favor of Christian Maidana. Crossfield ball from right back Watson to left back Lloyd. To the feet of Castillo. Castillo turns on the afterburners. Cutting in, sets up Blas Perez. Back to Castillo, combination play. Right to McMath on the shot.
With the tired legs of some of these Philadelphia players, he's just flying right by him. The 1-2 with Blas Perez. Hollingshead gets in the way a little bit, can't quite get the power on that shot he'd like to, hit it first time. And now Castillo's down behind the play.
Sitting in such a way that he may be cramping. Holding the tops of his feet to stretch.
Yeah, definitely a cramp.
Philadelphia has not played the ball out here. Now FC Dallas will earn possession. And Michel gives it away to Williams. A cross sent in. Out it goes. Blas Perez wins the ball, and FC Dallas will keep it in play. Castillo is back up to his feet. Hollingshead unable to control it, and it's sent back to McMath. And play continues with it boomed forward by McMath. Held up by Brian Brown. Riding on the ball, Akugo, who has the goal tonight for Philadelphia. Maidana, back post, dangerous. Akugo went down, and there was nothing in that.
Less than 4 minutes left now in stoppage, in extra time, excuse me.
And whatever stoppage time might be added.
Can't think there would be much, if any.
Had someone played the ball out while Castillo was down and cramping, he might have had the opportunity for a minute to be tacked on, maybe two. Watson leaps forward with the header. This will fall to Hollingshead, nudged it to his right. Hollingshead has it back from Castillo. Cross to Blas. A ball went through the legs of Blas Perez, and Edu with a desperation clearance. Keel a header, one to his left. Hedges with an overrun, but on it and back to Raul Fernandez.
See on the replay there, a nice job of Hollingshead of keeping the ball alive. Castillo back on the field. A nice ball back. Low cross in. Blas Perez can't quite find the ball there.
.128 or 118th minute. Maidana to Brian Brown in space. Nogueira. Outside Williams. Williams floats a ball in. Stephen Keel leans over and drives the header out over the byline for a corner.
Yeah, and it's late in the match, but you can't just let an outside back size up the ball and cross it in right now. We saw Michel kill Colorado in a similar situation on Saturday.
Maidana with one of the last opportunities for a team to score here at the end of extra time. 28 minutes of the half hour have been played. And the 119th minute. Now Maidana approaches a corner to Fernandez's left. It's bending in front, and it's headed right to Fernandez. Fernandez with the save. Off a ball that was headed in front.
He hasn't been called into action a whole lot tonight for FC Dallas. Most of Philadelphia's shots hitting the post.
Who was on the end of this?
Looks like it was Shannon Williams, or was that?
Edu.
Edu, yep.
Rolls all the way back to the other end. McMath. Forward to Shannon Williams. There's Maidana. Philadelphia's had the better play here in these last minutes of extra time. Maidana cutting in. Shadowed by Zach Lloyd. Back to Nogueira. Williams hoping to whip a ball in. Instead will opt for Nogueira, who's got space. He drives it. Fernandez able to direct it right in front of goal. That was incredibly dangerous. Trying to get to it, he can't. It will be a throw conceded here.
A bit of an
Hollingshead could not get there.
Unorthodox play there from Raul Fernandez, but he gets the ball away. Just 20 seconds left.
Now Hollingshead steps in front, booms to the other end. We're waiting to see how much time will be put on. The fourth official tonight is Edvin Jurasevich, obviously a name very familiar to MLS fans. Mark Geiger, the referee tonight. Watson going up for a header. There was a clash of heads. A player down for Philadelphia, and there is no extra time, no stoppage time added at the end of extra time. We played 120 minutes. It will come down to penalties to determine one half of the bracket in the final in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
What a game from both teams. I mean, you see what the Open Cup means in the semifinals, giving everything they have. Almost every player right now down on the field, holding their, leg anywhere. A heroic effort from FC Dallas. You talk about having to make all 3 subs at halftime. Finding that goal with 10 minutes left, Fabian Castillo saving the game for FC Dallas, and now they get to penalty kicks. We talked about it, Zach McMath, something of a penalty kick specialist early in the season, saving his first 3 of the season. Raul Fernandez, of course, I can remember him saving a penalty kick on Landon Donovan here last year.
Correct. That's the only one he's ever saved.
In the game that FC Dallas won over Los Angeles late in the game. So, Raul's a guy who's known for his reflexes. FC Dallas is going to have this scouted, as will Philadelphia, on where their players like to go. But about the only player for FC Dallas that has taken PKs this year, Michel and Blas Perez, and I believe Fabian Castillo has taken one as well.
Yeah, the numbers this year, Fabian Castillo is 0 for 1, Blas Perez is 1 for 2, Michel is 5 for 5. For Philadelphia, they have gone 6 for 6 on penalties in MLS play this year. However, Latu is 4 for 4, and obviously he's been subbed off. Casey 1 for 1. Connor Casey was subbed off long ago. Maurice Edu is the only player that's on the field this year that's converted a penalty for Philadelphia, 1 of 1. The saves that McMath has made this year for his career in MLS in 4 seasons, he has saved 4 out of 11 penalties. 3 of those have been this year against Mike McGee, Sabarillo for Real Salt Lake, and Ozzy Alonso for Seattle. He has been scored upon recently by Pedro Morales, the DP in Vancouver, who scored a penalty against Raul Fernandez earlier this year, by the way. And Dylan Powers converted the last penalty, the most recent penalty taken against McMath. This year, Fernandez has conceded penalties to Will Johnson for Portland, Pedro Morales for Vancouver, and Gabriel Torres Saturday night for Colorado. The only penalty save that FC Dallas has this year was Chris Seitz against Oscar Boniek Garcia in the Texas Derby match on the first Saturday back April 5th against Houston.
And we talked about the unbeaten streaks of both these teams. It's almost fitting that this goes to PKs. Neither team actually loses the match. The unbeaten streaks stay alive for both teams. Only fitting.
And if history again is an indicator, FC Dallas in their past in the Open Cup, they've gone to penalties 4 times. They've been victorious each time. Most recently in 2007 against the Atlanta Silverbacks in the 3rd round. Obviously, the question will be who will be over these penalties for both of these teams, given the options that are available to the coaches. Certainly, you would expect to see Michel, Blas Perez, Fabian Castillo.
Look out for Victor Ulloa.
Okay.
They practiced penalty kicks yesterday. Took a little sneak peek. He's one that definitely has no problems. Matt Hedges, another guy who likes to take penalty kicks after training. Zach Lloyd, another one we might see out there. And, of course, I think back a few years ago, FCD had a PK shootout where Dario Sala, former FC Dallas goalkeeper, stepped up to the spot. Who knows, maybe we'll see Raul Fernandez take one today. Either way, the fans absolutely getting their money's worth tonight. We talked about it so much. These are the games that you really remember, these knockout games.
Yep.
Win or go home games. This is definitely one that they'll never forget at Toyota Stadium. The only other PK shootout here, I believe it was a 3rd round match or a 4th round match. Definitely not as late as the semifinals like this.
That was 2005. That was the 2007 actually against Atlanta. That was the PK shootout here. They had a PK win over the Charleston Battery in 2006, FC Dallas over DC United in 2005 on the road, and then in the Open Cup final in 1997. 5 rounds. If no team has earned the winning advantage after 5, then we go to 1-by-1 sudden death.
It looks like Michelle stepping up first here for FC Dallas. FC Dallas will go first in the PK shootout.
And this will happen down to our left in front of the Dallas Beer Guardians, FC Dallas supporters group. Oscar Perea looking for his team to establish the early advantage with Michel. 5 of 5 this year. And converted the only penalty he took last season against San Jose Earthquakes. Michel, 33 years old, a great left foot against Zach McMath. The opener of the shootout. Well taken, Michel. First for FC Dallas.
No doubt about that one. Sends it into the side netting. Sends Zach McMath the wrong way. He was 5 out of 5 on PKs coming into the year. He makes no mistake.
This looks like it's going to be Shannon Williams.
Shannon Williams against Raul Fernandez.
Williams had an own goal against FC Dallas on July 4th, which was the difference in a 2-1 FC Dallas win. Raul Fernandez, the 28-year-old from Peru, looking to make a save but does not. Slotted to the left. Well done by Shannon Williams.
Perfect penalty there from Williams, low to the left.
Tesho Akindele now stepping forward for FC Dallas. 1-1.
See right-footed shot, no chance for Raul Fernandez, even if he went the right way.
Akindele, 4 goals this season. 3 in the last 5 games. And he has 1 in the Open Cup. Tesho strikes it to make it 2-1.
No fear there from the rookie. Absolutely kills that ball. Power and placement on that one from Tesho Akindele. McMath goes the wrong way, but even if he dove to his right, he's not saving that one.
Now Vincent Noguera, 26 years old from France, in his first season in MLS. 2 goals this season for Philadelphia to level the shootout at 2-2. Noguera, right-footed take, down the middle. 2-2.
Took his time on that one. Perhaps saw Raul Fernandez diving just a little bit early. Straight down the middle, no mistake. Blas Perez coming up to shoot for FC Dallas.
In his time with FC Dallas, Blas is 1 of 3 on penalties.
Missed a PK in Houston in the Open Cup.
Missed one earlier this season against Luis Robles, against New York Red Bulls. It's 2-2, round 3, Blas saved. McMath the save. Raul Fernandez will now have to answer.
Not a good penalty from Blas Perez, low, easily savable for the keeper, right where they like it. He dives the right way. Great save.
Christian Maidana. It was 1-1 after 120 minutes. It's 2-2 on the penalties, but Philadelphia can go in front 3-2. Maidana from Argentina, 27 years old, also a first season in MLS, just like Noguera, who converted a moment ago. Stutter step, and he rolls it in just inside the post. Not a lot of power, but he is able to sneak it inside. It's now 3-2.
The placement had to be absolutely inch perfect on that one. Raul Fernandez goes the right way, reads it well. Can't place it any better than that, though.
Zach Lloyd, you said look for him. 5 years with the club. He's been in a lot of big games. Here's Lloyd, and it's 3-3. But Raul Fernandez is going to have to get a stop.
Fantastic PK from Lloyd, upper 90. Wow.
Very well taken by Lloyd.
Absolutely. Like you said, Raul's going to have to get one. Maurice Edu steps up here for Philadelphia.
Edu has had 1 penalty converted this season. The veteran of the U.S. men's national team makes it 4-3 Philadelphia going in to the 5th and possibly final round.
Yeah, such a veteran, Maurice Edu. Right-footed shot straight into the corner.
And now it rests on Victor Ulloa, a homegrown player signed by FC Dallas just over 4 years ago. He has not scored a goal this year, had only played in 1 league game before this season. Big moment for young Victor Ulloa from Wiley, Texas. And it's saved by McMath, and Philadelphia advances to the final. They win on PKs 4-3. McMath saved Blas Perez on the 3rd attempt and Victor Ulloa on the 5th. And the Philadelphia Union will play at home at PPL Park in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup final against either Seattle Sounders FC or Chicago Fire, who play tomorrow night at Seattle.
What a heroic effort from Zach McMath in goal. We talked about how he's been so good at saving penalty kicks this year. He's able to stop 2 of FCD's 5 penalty kicks.
And the 4 penalty kicks converted by Philadelphia.
Just a heroic effort from both teams tonight on a hot night, 120 minutes. FC Dallas with absolutely nothing to hang their heads about. As we said, having to make all 3 substitutions by the halftime mark.
Shannon Williams converted tonight. Vincent Noguera, Christian Maidana, and Maurice Edu with the 4th and final PK. And 2 saves again by McMath. Diving to his right to stop Blas Perez. Leaping to his left to stop Victor Ulloa. And after 1-1 through 120 minutes, Philadelphia wins 4-3 in the penalty shootout.
Yeah, and all you can do is give the Union credit. They did a great job of stopping FC Dallas tonight, and FC Dallas offense that right now is the highest scoring offense in the league. They did a fantastic job. Fabian Castillo bottled up all night. He got 1 on them, but Blas Perez, not many chances tonight. Tesho Akindele shut down. They do a good job in extra time, hit the post a couple times tonight. Philadelphia, you can't say they don't deserve the win.
No, not at all. Cannot say that. Yeah, Zach McMath, I think, has got to be your man of the match.
No question.
2 saves in the shootout, numerous times out off of his line to clear ball, some danger. Yes, he had 1 that he was not able to get to when Castillo rounded in for the goal, but McMath's ability in net tonight for Philadelphia, and of course with his 2 saves in the PKs, I think have to make him man of the match. And that was a story that we addressed in the run-up through extra time as it was inching closer and closer toward penalties, that the ace in the hole that Philadelphia had was McMath. His success against penalties this year, stopping 3 of 5 already this season, and he stops 2 of 5 tonight. And that helps propel Philadelphia into the Open Cup final at PPL Park again against either Seattle or Chicago.
Yeah, and if you're FC Dallas, now you have to turn your attention to a quick turnaround on Saturday in San Jose.
Yes.
Who knows the status of the injured players? I saw Stephen Keel limping off the field. So many FC Dallas players are just spent right now. You're going to need some of those international players who didn't play tonight.
Yeah.
Guys like Peter Lucene, Andres Escobar to really come up big on Saturday.
Walker Zimmerman, Mauro Diaz, Adam Moffat, all sustaining injuries that necessitated being subbed off tonight.
Yeah, and it's the same thing for Philadelphia. They play in Houston on Friday, but they're through to the Open Cup final looking for their first trophy in franchise history.
Well, we certainly do appreciate everyone that tuned in tonight for our webcast. As Daniel noted earlier today on Twitter, a lot of the work that went into the audio-visual upgrades here at Toyota Stadium back in June meant we could not do the webcast of the game against San Antonio Scorpions in the 4th round of the Open Cup, but because of that, allowed us to bring to you tonight an HD webcast. So certainly hope that you enjoyed it. And for FC Dallas, again, their next game will be on Saturday night at San Jose. That game will be broadcast here in the North Texas area on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel at 9:30. And then FC Dallas will return for a home game against Real Salt Lake. Obviously, that's pivotal in the Western Conference table, as they all are now going forward. That will be Friday night, as you see on the screen, August 22nd, 8 o'clock against Real Salt Lake with an NBC Sports Network broadcast. And in September, some big matches against Vancouver on Saturday, September 13th, and on Wednesday, September 24th, against Seattle Sounders FC. Well, for Daniel Robertson and our on-site producer, Aaron Griffin, and all the great folks at FC Dallas, Scott Brown, and everyone else who made tonight's webcast possible, we thank them. I'm Mark Followill saying so long from Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Again, tonight's final, 1-1 after extra time, and Philadelphia advances 4-3 on penalties into the Open Cup final. Take care, and everyone, have a great night.